Persona 4 not revival. Anything worth customizing? Not really. Shit, now I gotta remember what backup save is the one that I'm saving to here. Okay, clearly not 1, clearly not 2, clearly not 3. Okay, I think the difference between 4 and 5 is that I fully healed with 5, right? I think I fully healed with 5. Yeah, I fully healed with 5. So I'm going to be loading file 4. Okay. Return to the title screen. Alright, let's see. And, come on, pull up the chat. And here we go. What's up, my fellow gamers? Right now, a wooden ceiling. No, not a new game. God damn it. I did not mean to click on a new game. God damn it. I did not mean to click on a new game. Ah. Hold on, guys. I gotta reset that. Ah, crap. Okay, let me retry that again. Hold on. Make sure it's actually streaming what I wanted. I did not mean to click on new game. I meant to click on load game. You know what? Now thinking about it, I could probably just start this run all over again on beginner difficulty and just make it easier on myself. Hello, how you doing? I am doing excellent. How are you doing, Union Senior 2005? I'll probably get into more updates and stuffs and all that sort of stuff once more people start jumping onto the chat. So for now, we're going to load file 4, because file 5 is when I was fully healing everybody, but this is where I don't have everyone fully healed, and this is going to work more to the advantage of what we're doing in this run. Oh yeah, they completely changed this song, by the way. I'm not sure how I feel about the revamped version of, like, well, this song, but I guess we'll see in due time when it eventually comes out. But I'll cry, they hear you no more. No feeling, hold dizziness, deep sky, feel no pain. Just sanity, body aching, control your own fate. Invisible, real enemy, burn your mind, falling down. Okay, so let me just check the stats of everybody first. So, that's how much I need in order to level up to 22. Okay, so we're not that far off on levels. It's just Chie would be leveling up last. Now, in terms of our persona, Izanagi. Okay, so Izanagi might level up first. So, essentially, as we level up, we have a way of actually min-maxing his stats. And the stats that we pretty much want to min-max is strength, endurance, and agility. Those stats in particular are the ones that we want to min-max. Maybe magic, but definitely strength, endurance, and agility is what we want to min-max. Doing well, thanks. I'm replaying Golden right now. That Nanako scene still hurts. The one where she goes to visit her mom. Yeah, that one was pretty hurtful. It's hard to immediately talk about the remakes of the songs if you're listening for so long like that. Yeah, it's a lot of people are too quick to be judgmental on the whole remake and all that, and there is definitely some fair things to judge, but I could definitely say people are being way too judgmental on some aspects of the remake already. But I could definitely say it looks good. It looks good. I just hope that the whole primetime thing is not gonna break the game's difficulty and make it way too easy and just be there for the sake of having flashy trailers, and then essentially having it be the win button, you know, the one thing to build up to instead of having a strategy build around it. I hope it's well balanced, or at least balanced with the idea of this game mechanic in mind. Kind of like how the Magasui meter in Persona, not Persona, what is it called? Shin Megami Tensei 5 was built around the Magasui meter and all that. So the Magasui meter is not necessarily a last resort, but a optional resort to essentially go to. But we'll see how they build around it. It'll be interesting to compare and contrast between Revival versus Golden, like Personas in the Compendium, quality of life features, and other miscellaneous details. What should have been a 20-minute rescue turns into 2 hours so you can listen to the backside of TV. Oh, it's not 2 hours. It's been, like, probably more than a goddamn day. We've essentially been in here longer than, Cease, spending the entire month in the goddamn dark hour, essentially. I don't know how long we've been at this for, but we've been at it for way too freaking long, to say the least. So right now I'm just grinding on some floor 1 enemies since I don't have 99 other items yet. Like, we are right now super goddamn rich. We are super goddamn rich. The fox is unavailable during the first chapter of the game, so we can't pay him, her, they, I don't even know what the gender of the fox is, money. So yeah, we have 143,000 yen. We have that much money. And in terms of, like, items that we have, yeah, we have, like, 99 Black Lambs from the Black Ravens, 99 Wonder Cloths from the Trans Twins, and, yeah, that's actually pretty much it, those two things. So yeah, we essentially want to make sure that we can actually get a good roll against some potential enemies that we can hopefully fight against. So the Idea Paper and the Big Incenser are enemies on the first floor, so if we grind against these particular enemies, we can at least gain lots of their items, but we don't necessarily need them. The Magical Magus is actually something that we don't have 10 of yet, so hopefully we can get more of the Magical Magus, get at least 10 of their items, and guarantee that we fuse whatever item that they hold. But we may not even use the item that they need, or that they have. And then the Magic Hand. So the Magic Hand, Magic Magus, Lion Habillary, and the Calm Peace are essentially the ones that we want to be able to go up against. The Bronze Dice, we really don't have a chance right now because they resist physical and they take more damage from electric, but we really don't want to use our electric attacks. And the Heat Balance, yeah, that's not happening. And once I get my doors trying to open, actually, hold on, let me just fix something here. And there we go. Just put a sign on my door saying, "Do not freaking disturb me." Something else occurred to me regarding Revival. They may make the fight against Margaret significantly harder and more challenging. It's a possibility. Honestly, she's the easiest Velvet Room boss fight. So much so that I did a damageless run of her in part 4 of my damageless run. Like, yeah, I managed to beat Margaret damageless, and she's probably the only Velvet Room attendant that is actually doable damageless. I mean, maybe Caroline and Justine might be doable damageless, but yeah, Margaret was quite possible damageless. If you haven't seen that, be sure to check it out. Okay, turn around, turn around, turn around, round, 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 turn around, turn around, round, 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 turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around. Turn around, you go, Shadow. Turn around, 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 turn around. Good, Shadow. Now let me give you a bigger butt crack. It's like, wait, what? Guard. Guard. Nice crit you, but be sure to save the crits for, like, the Magic Magus or something. And actually, let me just double check what accessories we have equipped on everyone. Okay, so we got the rabbit's foot, so this increases our luck by 1, right? No, by 2. Right now, that's really the only useful thing that we can actually equip during the grind. We have the best possible armor for you, as well as the best possible weapon for you. So this is the best possible weapon at this point of the game. Highest attack power, highest hit rate, and 3+ to our agility stat. So that's essentially... We essentially have the best equipment that we have to grind on the first floor of this castle. The first dungeon of this entire dungeon. Yeah, no enemies there. Alright, let's proceed upwards, guys. So right now our goal is to level up not just our main characters, which is going to take frickin' forever, but also Izanagi as well. And right now the goal is to try to get Izanagi up an extra level to level 16, so he's 1 level above Shadow Yukiko. And as he levels up, we would need to make sure that we min-max strength, endurance, agility. So either all 3 of those, or at least any one of those 3, essentially. Endurance, so we can endure more damage. Agility, so we can dodge more attacks and, well, not miss like an idiot. And strength, because strength is definitely going to be more useful than magic when it comes to fighting Shadow Yukiko. I mean, magic is still useful. It's just, in terms of what we have on Izanagi right now, you know, Tarakaja Cleave is right now more useful. And yeah, unfortunately, there's like no way for us to get a chest key, so this chest, this golden chest that you see here, remains closed for the entire goddamn run, essentially. And as far as I've seen, at least with the hours that we spend grinding on this goddamn floor, we've never had a golden hand appear once. Oh shoot, I just realized I might get double the amount of, yeah, bail. Wow, it's Persona 1 plus 3. Yep. Margaret's only hidden rule is not to equip the omnipotent orb on anybody yet. If you use skill cards to make your personas immune to damage, no problems there. Which is essentially what I did for the damageless run, essentially. And most important objective in this run is to not make another hole in the wall. Yeah, that hole in the wall still exists. I still never fixed it. It still freaking exists, but it never posed a problem, so that hole in the wall still exists. I've never fixed it. But anyways, we're essentially just grinding on floors 3, 4, and 5, essentially. We're just grinding on floors 3, 4, and 5, slowly making our way up. And as I'm going through this insanity, I could just give you guys updates as well as my personal opinion. So in terms of like stuff that I've seen for Revival, it looks promising. Persona 4 Revival definitely looks promising. And this is coming from someone who personally thinks Persona 4 or Persona 3 Reload is the better version of Persona 3 to play, personally. Like, personally, for me, Persona 3 Reload is the better version of Persona 3 to play. I mean, I've played through FES recently, and it's still a really great version of the game to go to, especially if you want a more challenging Persona 3 version, essentially. You know, harder difficulty, as well as, like, the AI control party members, which is unique to that version, and that's all the more reason why going to the FES version is still worthwhile going back to. However, the FES version still struggles from, like, this jealousy mechanic, the lack of fast travel, only being able to save in the goddamn dorm and not during the daytime unless you're off school. And even the tired mechanic can get slightly annoying, but the double-edged sword with the tired mechanic is that it allows you to stretch out every single party member, so no party member gets left behind in levels. The only thing is that by doing that, okay, run. The only thing is that by doing that, you'll essentially have your main protagonist be a higher level than literally everyone else. So, yeah. FES is still a really great version of Persona 3 to go to, but Persona 3 Reload, in my opinion, is the better version to go to. It's just more fun to play. Yes, it has more mechanics, but it's more quality of life that adds variety. Not necessarily, to me, makes it easier, but I guess you could argue that, yeah, it does make it easier, especially with the theurgy. I think the biggest unbalancing mechanic of Persona 3 Reload is the theurgy mechanic. Otherwise, stuff like the clock, leveling all the characters up to the level that the main character is at is a great addition, because just grinding every individual characters up at every level is just freaking repetitive as hell. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I hate Episode Aegis personally. Or not Episode Aegis, The Answer from Persona 3 Fest. I've recently beaten it. You know, I defeated Orbus and beaten it, and while it was a unique experience, oh god, The Answer was awful. But Episode Aegis and the gameplay conveniences from the original, or from the base Persona 3 Reload, makes Episode Aegis superior to play as. It makes it far more tolerable to play. I know I don't have the purest mindset and all that, but I don't know. I just like enjoying things, you know? I am critical, don't get me wrong, but I just like enjoying things. Do you have any access to skill cards or artificial stat increases in the vanilla version for future dungeons? Skill cards, no. Skill cards are not a thing in the original version of Persona 4. It was not included until, like, Persona 3 Portable, so skill cards were not a thing in Persona 3 Original, Persona 3 Fest, or Persona 4 Original. Skill cards are not a thing in this game at all. In fact, right now, Shuffle Time is useless to us until we unlock Arcana Chance. And right now, we don't have access to Arcana Chance until the second dungeon, unfortunately. But with Arcana Chance, we have a slim but plausible way of min-maxing stats, essentially. Because, yeah, using the Arcana Chance mechanic, we can essentially try to min-max between 1 to 3 stat increases on Izanagi as much as possible, but it is possible for the Arcana Chance to have a reverse effect and actually cause Izanagi to lose a stat and all that, and for a run like this, we can't afford to lose stats. We want increased stats. God damn it, can you at least kill something, you? That hole in the wall is proof of your victory, unfortunately, yes. Hello, Nita. Hello, chats. How's your day, boss? Oh, it's going great. Now, be sure to transport the cargo illegally to the next country, please. Okay, anyways, do you think Revival will have the team attacks like Chie and Yukiko's twin dragons and all that attacks, or do you think the primetime mechanic replaces that? Well, I haven't seen anything in the trailers that shows like Twin Dragons, Beauty and the Beast, and I think it was called Junes Bomber between Yosuke and Teddy. I think primetime is probably going to replace that mechanic, but I just hope that primetime is something that is at least balanced and not just the ultimate win button. But I guess we'll see when the game eventually comes out. It's too soon to judge. Ooh, good crit, you. Good crit. Victory! Too bad we have like 99 Wonder Cloths, so the only use we get out of that is the money and EXP drops, which is still useful. We're gonna be goddamn rich by the end of this grind, that's for sure. But hey, at least it'll make the rest of the run mostly a breeze. And considering that I don't have to buy any Personas from the Persona Compendium at all for this run, since it's going to be an Izanagi-only run, and considering that the only social links I'm prioritizing is the Fox, who doesn't require a Hermit Persona to increase the bond with him, yeah, we're pretty much just stuck with Izanagi through and through. The only other social links that I'll probably bond with outside of the Fox is... what is it? The nurse at the hospital, the daycare during the daytime, and even the tutor job if I happen to max out the understanding stat. But I think for the most part, when it comes to nighttime, I'll probably do the part-time jobs in my room, essentially. I'll probably prioritize the part-time jobs in my room, but once I do unlock the ability to have the tutor job and the hospital janitor job, then I will definitely prioritize them, because not only do they increase my stats, but they also give me money. So essentially, stat increases and money are definitely the most important things in this entire run. In fact, what are I kind of forget what my current stats are. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no way I can kill that dice with 2 sword slashes. I mean, if I get a critical on the dice, it might be plausible to defeat the dice, but yeah, I can't afford to waste any more of my SP if I need to use my SP against Shadow Yukiko. Because I'm literally on the last possible day I can save Shadow Yukiko. Or, Shadow Yukiko. I mean, I guess Shadow Yukiko because it is still Yukiko, but I'm literally on the last possible day I can save Yukiko. I have a feeling that Prime Time is going to be just as broken as Theurgies. Unfortunately, I think so too. I hope they don't touch the skill card system. The only change I'd be on board with is showing what skill card you'd be getting ahead of time, like in Reload's shuffle time. Yeah, I think that would actually be a quality of life change that I would definitely agree on, is that you can actually see what skill card you'll gain through shuffle time. And honestly, if they keep the same shuffle time mechanic that is in Golden, I think I would be honestly perfectly happy with that. I know some people say that Golden shuffle time is completely broken, but personally, I think I'm completely fine with it. And plus, it still has some of the quote-unquote negative benefits of halving your SP or halving your EXP, halving your money gain, but I don't think that's really much of a detriment or a downfall compared to the upsides of, well, getting more cards from Shuffle Time, more rewards, more skill cards, more money, and all that. And you can still increase the EXP gain as long as you're, you know, adding more EXP. Okay, Magic Magus, I've only killed like 5 of these things, so let's try to kill them, you. Okay, good. Okay, make sure I guard, don't escape. So yeah, whenever there's a red shadow, I definitely want to kill these things because this will drop something that I don't have 10 of yet, and of course it doesn't drop the item. Oh well, at least I gain a lot of EXP from it. So I think the primary grind is mostly going to be on floor 5, especially if the Magic Magus appears as a red shadow on this floor. And on the off chance I do kill the bronze dice with a critical hit, because I definitely need you to land a critical hit for a chance of killing the bronze dice. And I definitely don't have a chance of killing all these things. Adios. Persona 3 Portable is when skill cards first debuted, right? And then Golden came after Portable. Yeah, Golden came after Portable, and then Persona 5 had skill cards from the start since the vanilla version. And Reload made skill cards not only a lot more accessible, but blank cards a lot more accessible, because it wasn't really clear how you could get blank cards in the original Persona 5. Like, the best I can think of is that you mostly get them from chests within mementos, but that was mostly it. There was, like, no clear indication of how to get blank cards in Persona 5. So because of that, well, Yusuke's card duplication perk was useful. It was only useful if you coincidentally happen to have a skill card that would help you with the Caroline and Justine boss fight. But it was not as easy to overexploit because of the fact that it was hard to come across blank cards in general. But in Persona 5 Royal, you can get blank cards easily from either destroying disaster shadows or purchasing them from Jose, and it just made it a lot more easier to duplicate skill cards more often, as well as like itemize as many skills as possible. So you can get, you know, repel skills, drain skills, or you can get, like, you know, the amps or the boosts or whatever to try to boost up your elemental damage and, you know, make the Caroline and Justine boss fight as easy as possible. Because, yeah, essentially, or not just Caroline and Justine, but even Lavenza and all that, you needed that extra damage, as well as the high chance of making sure that you actually land your damn attacks and all that. I'm hoping Revival will make some tweaks towards how the Reaper appears. Maybe something like after opening too many cumulative chests, he appears on the floor. Honestly, I think he should appear the same way he does in, like, Tartarus and Mementos, you know, he spawns if you spend too much time on a floor for too long or something like that. I don't know about the rest, but I am excited Marie is going to be in Revival. And I also think I've seen a screenshot of Marie in Revival where apparently you could actually interact with her April 17th, and that was something that was not in Golden at all. Because I think on April 17th, you actually go and pick up the uniform from your homeroom teacher, Kane Moron, and then after that, you just return home and nothing else. I think that's where they're going to implement a additional interaction with Marie, is that after you pick up that's the jersey or whatever from your homeroom teacher, you find Marie and you talk to her. And honestly, I hope they actually have some scenes outside of her social link that actually make her more important and relevant to the story and all that, and also make the player aware that she exists as an optional social link that you can bond with, and, you know, try to encourage the players to prioritize maxing out Marie, considering that, well, if you know that Marie, you know, maxing her out leads to an optional dungeon in the Golden version, then, you know, obviously you want to encourage the players to spend time with her. Now, my suggestion in the Persona 4 Revival Needs video, like I released a video on what I think would be cool additions to Persona 4 Revival. One of the things I suggested is that maybe she could increase the EXP gain to backup members, or maybe even provide passive SP recovery, you know, encourage players to spend time with her so that way you can boost the benefits of being able to explore in the TV world and such. And they're probably not going to add that, but I hope they do succeed of making Marie a more interesting character, because in my opinion, Marie is definitely overhated. She definitely is an overhated character, but she is a character that definitely needs improvement, for sure. Because, well, I think Persona 4, or Persona 5 Royal succeeded in organically adding Maruki and Kasumi into the story of Persona 5 Royal, while also including the third semester content. Marie definitely does feel like an addition as opposed to an essential part of Persona 4 Golden. The only reason that you won't think of her as essential is if you don't know the story, and if you know the story, then you know she is quite essential to Izanami. I don't know if that's much of a spoiler, but I'm going to assume most of you already know the story. Golden skill card system is only broken if you invest the time and effort to collect all 204 of them, which I'm pretty sure nobody has done. Okay, I'm pretty sure somebody in this insane world has done that, but yeah, I personally would not invest that long into trying to get every single goddamn skill card in the game. Like, at that point, I am totally fine with the higher tier skill cards that give me, like, heavy elemental attacks, heavy or severe physical attacks, boosts and amps, Auto Ma Tarukaja, Auto Ma Rakukaja, and Auto Ma Sukukaja, all that sort of stuff. Once I have those cards, I am completely satisfied. There's like no reason to get all 204 of them. I don't know about the rest, but I am excited. Maria's going to be in Revival. Oh, okay. No, I already read that. Sorry. If Golden Shovel Time is the same in Revival, then SP management won't be a big issue if you keep drawing the Cup Arcana. Yeah, especially for the first dungeon. If for the first dungeon, as long as you know to exploit the Cup card, then you won't have to worry about the Fox and all that. I mean, the Fox will definitely, no doubt, still be there as SP recovery management. And actually, I think what would actually be a nice quality of life improvement is that maybe you can actually specifically say, hey, I want this particular character to recover all of their SP, as opposed to, hey, recover all of our SP. Like, you can actually select which party member should get the SP recovery without having to go to the stat screen and put, you know, whoever in the backlines that you don't want to increase. You can actually select what character you want to increase. Kind of similar to Shin Megami Tensei 5, where you could actually select what demon or the main protagonist should have their HP and MP increase and all that. Like, that's definitely something that I think they should add for the Fox, is that you actually can select what party members you want to increase, and if you want to select all, you can have the select all option, essentially. Like, I think that's something that would definitely make it a lot more better in terms of trying to recover SP on a specific party member you want, as opposed to like saying, oh yeah, just throw a bunch of money at every single party member that may not even need their SP increased or whatever. Or maybe you could even select how much of your SP increases, as opposed to just, you know, the entire SP bar. Because obviously the higher your SP bar is, the more money it's going to be, and the lower the rank the Fox is, the more money it's going to be. So maybe you can select how much SP gets recovered, as opposed to recovering all of your SP. But, I don't know. We'll see what they do when they eventually release it. Because there's definitely ways they can definitely improve the Fox, for sure. Okay, don't escape. Guard. Guard. The common thing since Royal, insane almighty moves like Theurgies, or Theurgies that actually do have physical or elemental based attacks, but can actually exploit weaknesses or criticals and count as a one more. Honestly, I think Theurgies, like, I think in theory, Theurgies are good. It's just they can be overpowered, like severely overpowered, in the ultimate win button to build up to. Personally, I have a feeling people hate Marie because of her Tsundere type and her poems. Yeah, personally, I'm not a fan of the Tsundere type of characters. Not that they can't be fun characters, they just are sometimes annoying. I think that is part of the reason why some people don't like Marie, but the Tsundere persona is definitely a Japanese thing, and you gotta remember, this is a Japanese game, so of course they're gonna lean into those cliches and stereotypes. I have all skill cards. It breaks down to one per persona. I see. I played Persona 2 Duology last month, and I was surprised when Izanami showed up as a regular persona. I still need to get through Persona 2. In fact, I actually recently streamed Persona 1 for the first time, playing Persona 1 for the first time. If you guys haven't seen that, I actually did stream Persona 1. And I would like to stream Persona 1 again. It's just I'm not confident that it's going to get as much views as, well, this is currently getting. I got here, what's the challenge? It seems like someone else answered that for you. It'll also be nice if being in the backline gradually recovers SP. I mean, I guess that could be a passive perk that Rise would probably give to the party members, but I guess we'll see. I haven't got a skill card from Chagall Cafe yet. Yeah, Chagall Cafe is definitely a waste of time, honestly. It's a waste of time that is really only useful in challenge runs. Do not waste your time with Chagall Cafe in a normal run of Persona 4 Golden. And you don't have to worry about it for base. Wait, no, I'm going the wrong way. So does this game have skill cards? Nope. This game has no skill cards. Skill cards were not a thing that were invented. In fact, Shovel Time is completely different compared to Golden Shovel Time. Let's just say the Shovel Time mechanic in original Persona 4 honestly sucks. It honestly sucks. Let's just say it boils down to get a Persona card, a blank card, or a penalty card that negates all awards that you gain from battle, and essentially penalty cards are the worst goddamn thing in this game, because essentially you just wasted your resources for nothing. It's like the worst goddamn mechanic in the entire fucking game. Blank cards essentially do nothing, and Persona cards, well, give you Persona. But now the thing is that if we do happen to get a Persona card, we just simply dismiss the Persona that we just gained. Come on, you, land a crit. And then once you get to the second dungeon, like, it's unavailable during the first dungeon, but once you get to the second dungeon, if you pick a blank card or a Persona card, you have a chance of what is called Arcana Chance to appear, and this is essentially how the major Arcana cards play effect into Shovel Time. Like in Golden, Major Arcana cards had a chance of appearing in Shuffle Time, and they would provide usually either powerful benefits or some negative benefits, but with the advantage of being able to pick up more cards. So you could pick the Moon card to half your EXP gain, but you have the advantage of being able to pick 2 additional cards. Or you could pick the Devil card, which negates all EXP gain, but it also had the advantage of you being able to pick up 3 cards and such. But in base Persona 4, essentially Arcana Chance only gives you like 1 Major Arcana card, and it's essentially a coin flip. You can either say yes or no, and essentially if it's reversed, you get a negative effect, and if it's upright, you get a positive effect. So, for example, if you have the Moon Arcana, and if it's upright, then for the next 3, 5 or so battles, you'll essentially gain a slight bit more EXP than usual. But if it's downright, you'll only gain 1 EXP for the next 3 or so battles, essentially. And I think the same thing with the Sun card. I could be mixing up which Arcanas is which because I don't have it all memorized. But with the Sun card, if it's downright, you'll only gain like no money for the next 3 or 5 battles, or you'll gain more money for the next 3 or 5 battles. But the cards that we essentially want the most for this kind of run are the stat increasing cards. So the Strength card is what increases your magic stat, I believe. The Strength card increases your magic stat, and essentially if it's upright, we have a chance of gaining 1 or 3 additional stats in magic on a particular persona. Since Izanagi is our only equipped persona of the entire run, and we're going to negate every single persona that we ever gain throughout the entire run, essentially all the stat increases or decreases will go towards him. Okay, I'm going to start grinding on floor 5 because I think I've been running from most battles since being up here. But essentially, if we have a Strength card and it's upright, Izanagi has a chance of increasing his magic stat by 1 or to 3 points. Whereas if it's downright, then he will lose 1 point in magic, essentially. So that's essentially how it works. And some negative effects are, like, severely consequential. Some don't leave that much of an impact, but some do. Like, one card in particular is the Death card. The Death card, if you get it in an upright position, then you essentially lose all of your HP but gain all of your SP. And if it's downright, then you lose all of your SP and gain all of your HP. And it also acts as an automatic go home and kicks you out of the dungeon, essentially. Shigal Cafe skill cards should be used when the skill you want does not appear in Shuffle Time. Yeah, possibly. Speaking of Persona cards, I hope they keep the mechanic from Reload where you continuously getting the same Persona gives you that Persona EXP plus other Personas of the same Arcana. Yeah, that'd be a convenient game mechanic. Nitsa, I can hear your beard from here. What do you mean, beard? Are you talking about my fan? I mean, I have my fan on, if that's what you're hearing. Because I definitely don't have a beard right now. If the devil or tower appeared alongside Star, you will get a upside 3+ draws and eliminate the downsides with a star. Yeah, my guess is that the metaphor run is no upgrading your royal virtues. Oh yeah, right, I was doing a metaphor Refantasio run, right. Yeah, that's kind of on hold right now. It's on hold because I haven't been scripting the run as I was doing it, and I've been lacking inspiration of actually scripting the damn run itself. But I will eventually try to get back to my Metaphor Refantasio run at some point. I won't say what it is right away, but I am making a Metaphor Refantasio run. And also, another run that I was making that is also on hold is Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Let's just say I kind of been lacking inspiration of making it. In fact, I'm on the verge of possibly canceling it, but I guess we'll see in the near future. It really does come down to you whether or not you guys are watching my runs. And right now, my latest videos have not been doing well. Like, even my trailer reaction to Persona 4 Revival and Persona 6 did not do well, like, at all. And that's surprising, considering that you guys are mostly subscribed to me for Persona-related content. And even my latest run on 007 First Light without guns and gadgets did not do well at first, gained a lot of views at a certain point, and now is kind of stuck over 5,000 views. That also hasn't really been doing well. Now, I partially wasn't surprised, considering that most of my subscriber base is definitely not subscribed for 007 videos. In fact, I don't even know if I'll ever do another 007 video outside of 007 First Light. The only reason I played 007 First Light is because I'm a big fan of Hitman World of Assassination, and the developers of that game, IO Interactive, also made 007 First Light, so that was all the more reason why I played it, and all the more reason why I wanted to release a challenge run of it while it was still new, essentially. Guard, guard, attack. Because nobody done that run from Metaphor. Well, I don't think I'll do a Royal Virtue run of Metaphor personally, but if anyone wants to call dibs on it, go for it. I watched it and I agree with you about Teddy's new voice. I mean, it's too soon to say. I mean, the game's not even out yet. I mean, who knows? Teddy might still be fucking annoying for all I know. Not into reaction videos. I mean, I guess it's totally fair. I mean, personally, I like seeing people's emotions and reactions in videos. In fact, one streamer that I've been watching doing his Persona 3 Reload run recently is JC Backfire. JC Backfire recently did an entire stream of Persona 3 Reload, and right now he is doing a stream of Episode Aegis. And yeah, his emotions on it, it's definitely so intriguing to watch. It's so intriguing just seeing a... Fuck! You... Okay, thank you for letting us run, Teddy. God damn it. Yeah, we definitely need to make sure we min-max our strength stat. We definitely need to min-max our strength stat if we want a chance of being able to beat that goddamn hand. Actually, let me just check what Izanagi's level up stat is now, and holy crap. I am not gaining anything. Jesus Christ. How much have I been gaining? Oh my god, it's like I've been barely gaining a thing. I don't know how long I've been streaming for, but Jesus Christ. Don't know about other people, but I would definitely want to see you continue streaming Persona 1. I'll definitely like to continue streaming Persona 1. It's just finding the time to do it. And not to mention, it is summer and it gets really hot in here. Right now, it's not as hot today, even though it's pretty sunny outside. Alright, turn around, Shadow, turn around, turn around, turn around, round, 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 you go. Turn around, turn around, turn around, round, 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 you go. Turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around, round, 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 you go. Turn around, turn around, turn around, round, 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 you go. Turn around, turn around, round, 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 you go. Turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around, round, 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 you go. Good, Shadow. I'll give you a bigger butt crack for being a good boy. God damn it, you! Kill them! I am close to maxing Thor, but I need to get strength cards, which requires RNG. The last video of JC Backfire I saw was his viewers forcing him to fight Elizabeth. That was quite the video, lol. Yeah. Yeah, all I can say to him is, don't fight Elizabeth. Elizabeth is honestly the worst goddamn Velvet Room boss fight. I personally don't like the Elizabeth boss fight. It essentially just feels like Elizabeth is essentially that kid on the playground that is like, nah, I win, my rules and all that sort of stuff. Like, it feels like that kid on the playground that will not cooperate and accept the fact that they lose. Like, that's essentially what the whole Elizabeth fight feels like. It feels like a kid that refuses to accept defeat and just refuses to play the game properly. Like, that's essentially what the whole Elizabeth boss fight feels like. It doesn't feel like a challenge. It just feels like a stubborn kid that refuses to accept defeat. It took me a long time to eventually figure out a strategy to defeat her. Like, I did eventually defeat her, and honestly, it feels unsatisfying, honestly. It feels unsatisfying because it just felt like I was fighting a stubborn kid until I eventually defeated that said stubborn kid. It's honestly not a worthwhile achievement to go out of your way towards. I mean, completing the rest of her requests, sure, but honestly, the Elizabeth boss fight is just god-awful. It's god-freaking awful. And to think it's worse in, like, the original version where you couldn't choose what skills you want on, like, Orpheus Telos and all that, like, to think that it can be worse is just awful to think about. Are Persona spin-off games up for consideration, like Tactics or Strikers? It's possible, but honestly, I don't have any ideas for them. In fact, if I were to do a challenge run on any of the spin-offs, I mean, it's not really a spin-off, but I might consider doing a run on Episodigus, but right now, either I record it on my PlayStation 5, or I wait until I eventually move out and stream it on my PlayStation 5, or I get a new PC so I can actually stream it on PC. But Episodigus was one that I have considered possibly doing a challenge run of. And as you can already tell with me doing this video, I am gonna do a challenge run on Persona 4. And honestly, at the rate that Persona 4 Revival is gonna come out, I doubt I'm gonna be able to release this challenge run, or even if I'm gonna release the challenge run at all, before Persona 4 Revival comes out. And at that point, people are gonna consider, like, the original PlayStation 2 version so obsolete. But hey, with the purists constantly saying that new sucks and old is better, who knows? There's probably gonna be people that will watch this run, no doubt. The shadows in this game look weird, yeah. Like how the floating shadows in Pre-4 look like the appearance, whatever that means. Elizabeth and Theodore are the reasons why I've never platinumed Persona 3 Portable. That's very understandable. Honestly, they're pretty god-awful boss fights, honestly. Like the Twin Wardens, Lavenza, and Margaret are good. I mean, Lavenza, I guess, is a little unfair if you don't know her rules, but at least it's rules that you can actually build around to. But with the problem with the Elizabeth boss fight is that, again, it feels like that kid on the playground that refuses to accept defeat. And as opposed to working with the game's mechanics, it feels like you have to exploit the game's mechanics in ways that feel very unnatural, honestly. Like, in theory, the Elizabeth boss fight is a unique idea. A solo run where you can't nullify, drain, or repel attacks. If that was, like, the only rule, then I honestly think it would be a great boss fight. But unfortunately, that's not the only rule, and therefore it sucks. If he is streaming Strikers, there's no way he is doing it on Merciless difficulty. I mean, there's no way I can do it on Merciless difficulty in general if I am, if it's like a new game playthrough. If it's a new game playthrough, then I can't do it on Merciless difficulty. Merciless difficulty is a New Game Plus exclusive difficulty. I have thought of possibilities of doing other runs, say on like Kingdom Hearts, and such, but honestly, I've been slowly losing inspiration of doing challenge runs. But the problem is that I've worked on so many, and I have so many that are in production, or that I still need to stream or record or whatever, So challenge runs are still not off the table for the rest of Nitsa Gamer. But actually, while I have you guys hostage, let me just read the comments here. That's a shame that Elizabeth is one of my favorite characters in the series. Yeah, as a character in her hangouts, she is a really great character. I absolutely love her hangouts. It's hilarious. It's charming. I love Elizabeth as a character, but her boss fight is awful. It's freaking awful. Thought of it a challenge run for Q2, which is the Nuzlocke rules. Cool. The fight against Joker on episode I guess Artless difficulty makes Elizabeth look like a tutorial. Yeah, I never even bothered trying to beat Joker, honestly. That was like the only content in episode I guess that I did not bother beating. And I went to see, you know, what rewards you get after beating Joker, and yeah, it's just not worth it. And considering that there's like no trophy achievement behind it, it was just not worth beating Joker. Otherwise, the rest of episode I guess was worthwhile, outside the fact that it can be tedious without the social link system. I wouldn't mind Elizabeth so much if she wasn't so good at casting ailments. Since I did have Orpheus Telos, I kept being stuck with personas with nulls while I was frozen or shocked. Eek. Yeah, Joker on Merciless or on Heartless is basically if you don't get the correct buffs, reset. When I first did Merciless mode in Strikers, I got taken out by that first bicorn mini-boss. Eek. I didn't even make it past the first fight in Strikers Merciless. Honestly, I think I played a little bit of Merciless difficulty for Strikers, but honestly, I forget how far I got into it. I've beaten the game. And I think it's a really great spin-off sequel game. But I don't think I've ever beaten the whole game on Merciless mode, and I don't think I've completely maxed out the whole bond system, like the passive bond system perks. I mean, maybe I might get back to Strikers at some point, but I really don't know. Okay, Magic Magus, please go down. Give me your item. I don't know how many of these items that we need in order to fuse its materials, so the supple metal. So I think we have 6 of these now. General rule of thumb is that you would need about 10 of these materials, but sometimes you'll need less than 10 in order to fuse these materials. So yeah, I got 6, so hopefully we can fight 4 more of these things, so that way we can at least guarantee that we create whatever equipment it drops. But for all I know, it's probably a useless equipment that I'm not going to be able to use for this run anyway. And also, while I have you guys hostage, also finishing Strikers is a great time. Platinum Strikers is a terrible time. Yeah, usually 100%ing some games can be a terrible time, but it depends. In terms of games that I've been playing recently, I mean, as I've already said, I've played through 007 First Light. I haven't 100% it. I still have a lot to complete when it comes to 007 First Light. But I did a challenge run on it. If you guys haven't seen it, then be sure to check my 007 First Light challenge run, where I go through the game without using guns or gadgets. It was definitely a fascinating run for sure, even though I did have to turn it into a minimalist run. I personally really enjoyed the run, and I also enjoyed the video that I made on it. So, yeah, definitely check the run out if you guys haven't seen it yet. God damn it. And another game that I've been playing for the first time recently is Death Stranding 2. So, some of you may or may not know, I released a video on Death Stranding 1. It's like my least viewed video that I've ever uploaded, which doesn't surprise me, because definitely what people are subscribed to is definitely not Death Stranding related. And to some people, they think Death Stranding is an awful game because popular YouTubers told them it is. But Death Stranding is honestly like one of my favorite games of all time, honestly. It's a really, really great game. I made a video on it, ranking the PCC structures of Death Stranding. And right now, I've actually been playing through Death Stranding 2 for the very first time. And I gotta say, once I reached the second chapter of Death Stranding 2, I fell into an immediate depression because of a certain event that happened. I won't spoil what it is, but let's just say I fell into an immediate depression. And I was like instantly hooked. Like the gameplay of Death Stranding 2 is like so much better than the first game. it does have a little bit too much fighting for my liking. I mean, I personally like strategizing how I'm going to deliver my cargo from place to place as opposed to fighting all the time. But it's still a really great game, and I like the change of pace of going from, like, crossing the USA to crossing Australia. Like, the first part of the game, you go through Mexico, and then for the majority of the game, you go through Australia. It's a really nice shake-up. I really enjoyed Death Stranding 2, and I'm really enjoying the gameplay and what old things it brings back, but also new things it adds to the gameplay. But yeah, personally been really enjoying Death Stranding 2. I've practically been religiously playing it recently. Speaking of episode Aegis, I personally hate how they watered down Yukari compared to Fess. Honestly, I thought Yukari was fine. I think the only point that they did water it down is that in Fess, she does actually try to fight back for the key after she lost, whereas in Reload, she falls to her knees. I mean, that I'll admit is a downside, but it's like literally one scene. Is it really worth complaining about one scene where she just doesn't fight back against Aegis for losing? Personally, I just think it's fans just grasping at straws and just complaining about the littlest of things, honestly. But other than that, I think Yukari was handled fine, personally. Okay, getting close to the 1,000 mark. Be nice if I could actually get below the 1,000 mark. Yeah, it's gonna take a long freaking time to level up, but that's all the more reason why I'm streaming this. And hey, as long as I'm still not halfway, I still have lots to talk about with you guys. Nitsa, I need an advice. I've been streaming Poppy Playtime Deathless runs. If I die, reset the chapter. I'm scared of doing chapter 5 because I struggle a bit with this run. Well, I've never played the game, so I can't give you advice. First Light is a game I've been trying to 100%. I think that it's better one to try that on your own. Your video on it was a fun run too. Oh, thank you. The most exhilarating part of Striker's Merciless mode was the fight against the Reaper. That was so intense. I did fight the Reaper, obviously, you know, when I did my first playthrough, but I did not fight it in Merciless. I definitely did not get that far in Merciless. I'm worried about losing my mind. Should I practice it? Well, keep practicing, and if it's just ungood for your health, then don't do it. Most of the time, a popular YouTuber releases a X is terrible, and here is why. It ends up being several hours of nitpicks and bad faith criticisms. Well, whatever gives you the views. I mean, negativity unfortunately sells. If it helps, you've inspired me to do it. Oh, that's good. Yay, Persona 4 Challenge Run stream. I ended up making an OC and Gacha Club Pass, or Plus. Don't get into gacha games, guys. That's all I can say. It's the primary reason I've never played Persona 5 X. I've never played Persona 5 X, and I have considered... excuse me. I have considered possibly streaming it just so I can actually get my opinions of what Persona 5 X is, but let's just say I lost the vote to streaming Persona 1. And another stream that I got to continue back doing is my Final Fantasy 1 challenge run. I'm actually like on the penultimate dungeon right now. And then I have to do days of grinding to level 50, so that's a run that I got to get back to at some point. But yeah, Death Stranding 2, I've been really enjoying. I've definitely been enjoying the game. I've definitely been doing some of the side content as opposed to just sticking to the main story. So I've been building roads wherever the chiral network is like built and such. And yeah, I've been really enjoying Death Stranding 2. And also, okay, hold on. Getting more stuff. Final Fantasy 1 is underrated. Yep. In the future for your Izanagi, I would recommend getting a good physical skills. Oh, wait, hold on. Matarakaja, Marakakaja, and wind skills immunity. Well, you see about that, K-Blades. There's no skill cards in this game. At all. So, great advice, but no, I can't get those at all. Personally, I don't hate gacha games, but I'm not spending a single cent on them. Well, they're designed on leaking your money. Like, say what you want, that, you know, it's up to the player's choice. It's still designed around trying to leech money from you, and that alone is a practice that is worthwhile protesting against, in my opinion. And a really good electric skill. Yeah, sorry, K-Blades, but unfortunately, skill cards are completely out of the question for this run. The only thing that is in question is that it is possible to upgrade our physical skill. It's like the only thing that is worth upgrading on Izanagi. So, like, let's check Izanagi's skills, because the skills that he has are the skills we're stuck with for the rest of the run, in theory. Because we have Zio, so light electric, Cleave, light physical damage, Rakukaja, which is great because we're only buffing one character's defense, Tarakaja, which is great because we're only buffing one character's attack, and Rakunda, which is also great because ideally when it comes to boss fights, it's usually only facing up against one boss fight, with the exception of like the first two boss fights. But after those boss fights are done, Rakunda is better to keep than having Ma Rakunda. But in terms of like these skills, it is possible to upgrade them if we get magician cards in Arcana Chance. Problem is that it's completely RNG what goes up, and it's also RNG if we get a downright magician card which downgrades a skill. But what we want is that if we get a magician card, we don't want any of these skills to level up except for Cleave. Because if Mazio levels up, we get Mazio, which means we're spending more SP on using light electric, and that's something that we actually don't want. And we don't want to upgrade Tarakaja or Rakukaja because we're only focused on buffing one party member. And while Rakunda, in theory, would actually be good to level up because it means we can decrease the defense of multiple enemies, ideally this is not really that helpful since we're more concerned about boss fights. The only one we want to improve is Cleave. So when we get the Magician card in Shovel Time, we want to improve Cleave at some point. So Cleave is like the only thing that we can improve on Izanagi for hopefully better physical damage. In fact, we can actually continuously improve Cleave until we get like heavy attacks and all that, and that's something that we hopefully can get. Because there's still that RNG chance that it may not continuously level up our physical stat, but that's all the more reason why we want to increase our stats through Arcana Chance, or min-maxing the stats that are going to be the most important for the boss fights to come. But in terms of min-maxing stats for Shadow Yukiko, Strength, Magic, Endurance, and Agility are going to be the more important stats. Luck, not so much. Luck is not going to be as important. Come on, ladder critical. I'm so geeky, so if any YouTuber reviewer missed the key detail to a story or character motivation, I lose my mind, and that's why I watch them for fun, not for information, unless your horror history. If Persona 5X got a console port where the gacha mechanics are modified to something you could actually do in game without spending extra money, that would be worth considering. Probably not. So vanilla Persona 4 has no skill cards and skill inheritance is randomized? Man, early Mega 10 was rough. It was rough indeed. In fact, one upside is that with us doing an Izanagi run, we don't have to do fusion. And the thing is that with fusion, it does the skill inheritance of, like, it has a certain percentage of what certain skills would actually go onto a persona you're trying to fuse. So if you're trying to fuse a persona with specific skills, you would constantly have to roll the dice, maybe for hours, just to get the skills you want. And you would have to compromise with skills that would be useless on that said persona. That was something that in early Mega 10 games, you just had to deal with. And it wasn't until Persona 4 Golden that they finally made the correct decision of making us select the skills we want. Like, about fucking time. Like, it definitely removed the frustrations of relying on a roll the dice mechanic. And also, while I have you guys here, there's actually another project that I've been working on outside of Nitsa Gamer, though I guess you can say it's a part of Nitsa Gamer. I'm working on a video game. How would you guys like that? A video game made by Nitsa Gamer. Yes, I'm actually serious. I'm actually right now in pre-production of it, but I'm making a video game. It's going to be a 2D video game just because I never went to school for like coding knowledge and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm making a video game. I'm going to be making a video game, and it's going to be something that you can definitely tell has some of its Persona DNA in it. There's definitely some inspiration of Persona within it. But it's definitely going to be an original game. It's going to be an original game with original ideas. I mean, definitely ideas that does take inspiration here and there. Again, Persona definitely does play an inspiration in some of the game's mechanics, but it's definitely going to be an original idea. And it's going to be a 2D game, because again, 2D is right now the only thing I can right now reasonably do. I won't say too much on it because I don't want to spoil anything or give away my ideas, but yeah, I am definitely in the process of making a video game. I've been learning some video game coding, and yeah, listening to Indian guys telling me how to code a video game, essentially. And yeah, been working on some sprites, working on a few tests to see how it's working. Collaborating with some of my locals and getting like a reference actor to essentially do motion capture so we can draw, you know, how the character moves and all that in the game. Because honestly, I'm a terrible artist, so I definitely need a reference to draw over. And it's definitely going to be, definitely not a turn-based game. It's definitely going to be a game with like hack and slash mechanics, but the way I want it implemented is going to definitely revolve around thinking fast, moving fast, and having a lot of variety of approaching how you attack your enemies. And it's also going to have some social sim aspects that are similar to a Persona game and all that. That's all I'll say on it, because if I explain more on it, I'm just revealing more on it. But yeah, I'm definitely in big motivation to essentially create an original video game, essentially. How long it's going to take, when is it going to release, I don't know, but it's probably going to take a few years at the least. But we'll see in due time. We'll see in due time, and if I do have something to show, then I will eventually show it off at some point. Is your game going to have voice acting? I would love it to have voice acting. Even though I'm creating a 2D game, voice acting is more than feasible. I definitely want to have voice acting in the game. Problem is that if I hire, you know, experienced voice actors, say like Sean Chiplock, for example, that's going to require like thousands of dollars that I definitely can't afford right now. But if I were to hire, you know, actors that are willing to have like minimal wage or whatever, but don't have that much experience, then it's not going to deliver the raw emotions I want. So there's going to definitely be lots of compromise when it comes to making this game. But I'm hoping that it does deliver on the emotions that I want, because I do have character arcs in mind, and these character arcs can differ based on player choices. So like, as I said, there's going to be a social simulation aspect in the game, kind of similar to the Social Links, but it is definitely approached differently compared to Social Links. I should probably grind on like floor 4 enemies at this point because I'm running for most battles. But yeah, it's going to have like, you know, passive benefits of spending time with your friends and all that, or making new friends. But it's also going to have like different variations of how their stories go. So like you can betray a friend and that can actually take their story in a completely different direction. Or you can always side with your friend, or the stories can differ depending on what you do in the main story, and you can actually have different perspectives of a particular character's dilemma or whatever. So if a character has like a bad reputation, you could either just end that friendship on bad terms, or you can end it on good terms based on your choices or whatever. Or if a character is having like troubles with like maybe a parent of theirs that doesn't like them for their life choices or whatever, you have a choice of, like, you know, encouraging that friend to either try to get along with your family, or maybe just throw your family under the bus because they're not worth it for your mental health or whatever. Like, you have multiple choices of how they're, I guess in this game's case, their social link can end, as opposed to having one linear ending. I'm a voice actor represented by Who Management and can work within whatever budget ends up being. Okay, that's good to know, Union Senior. You'll have to somehow message me. Probably the best way to do it is probably through Discord or something like that. You'll have to message me and maybe show me maybe a demo reel of your work or something, because yeah, if you have voice acting experience, then yeah, I definitely highly consider hiring you as a voice actor. The only issue is that I'm still in like pre-production when it comes to this game, so I probably won't be considering voice actors for quite a while. But yeah, that would definitely be great if you do some voice acting. But yeah, I'm gonna need a mix of male and female characters, and or even characters that are, well, not male or female, if you know what I mean. It's definitely going to be a game where you can tell it's going to be made by an American and not an American, I'm technically Canadian, but definitely someone who's not Japanese. So it's definitely not going to have the Japanese cliches in it, but you can definitely tell it'll have some Persona-inspired DNA within it, especially when it comes to the social aspect of the game. But it's not going to be a turn-based game. It's going to be a game that requires immediate action and hack and slash, and your actions have an effect on the battlefield, while also giving you multiple options of how to approach the combat in the game. But yeah, right now I have nothing worthwhile showing off. I mean, I do have some worthwhile things showing off, I guess, like test rooms, but it's not something that I'm ready to reveal yet. I am essentially the main guy behind the game, for sure. This is all my vision. This is all my story that I'm thinking of. And yeah, essentially, it does kind of have like that Persona aspect, with the dungeon crawling being half of the game and the other half of the game being the social sim aspects. But unlike Persona, where usually it has like a true ending and a bad endings or alternate endings or whatever, there's multiple endings for my game. It's essentially going to be like Walking Dead Season 2 or Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 4, where there's like multiple endings and such, essentially. And it's all based on what you think is morally right. Or even something like Shin Megami Tensei, for example, Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne or Shin Megami Tensei 5 Original, where there's like multiple endings, and it differs based on what you think is like morally correct or whatever. Because yeah, there's definitely going to be tests of your morality and all that, and it's going to have a consistent theme. I already figured out what the theme is going to be, so kind of like how 3 is death, 4 is truth, and 5 is rebellion and change. The game I have planned has a consistent theme, and that theme is something that you got to pick up on over time, realize what it is, and then essentially seek that theme in your own in your own way, essentially, because everybody's idea behind this theme differs, and that's kind of the whole point of the game, is that everyone's idea of this particular theme is going to differ between individuals, because some people's idea of this could be one way, some people's idea of this could be another way, some people's idea could be a little bit more selfish or selfless, or sometimes those selfless ideas has bad morals behind it, or sometimes those selfish ideas could have good morals behind it, etc. But yeah, what did you guys think? Would you guys be excited to play an original video game for me? It's going to definitely take years before we have something that is workable, and I'll definitely say it's going to be one of those games where I'm definitely going to have a long length to it, because, again, it's definitely going to have that Persona-inspired DNA with the social sim aspects and dungeon crawling, but it's definitely going to deviate a lot from Persona. It's definitely going to not be like Persona, but it's definitely going to have some Persona-inspired content, essentially, if that makes sense. And you're also building your own characters. You're not using like personas or demons or archetypes like in Metaphor, for example. So you're not building off of that. You're actually building off of increasing the stats of your individual characters and all that. But you're ideally only controlling the main protagonist, while your friends are AI controlled, essentially. Kind of like, let me think of an example. I mean, I guess like Persona 5 Strikers in a way, except you only control the main protagonist, or Final Fantasy 15, where you only control Noctis, but you can improve the stats on Gladio, Ignis, and Prompto. You know, stuff like that. You can essentially improve the stats on your friends and yourself, and and I guess so how it's going to work is kind of similar to like Final Fantasy X's sphere grid system, but it's definitely going to have a little bit more variety on what you improve. So it's like, what do you want to prioritize leveling up? Do you want to prioritize having higher defense? Do you want to prioritize having higher strength? Do you want to have prioritized higher magic points? Or do you want more invincibility frames when you dodge roll certain attacks and such? That's essentially what is being improved. And then, of course, there's going to be a side mechanic of unlocking various ways you can fight. So on top of, like, you know, hack and slash, killing things with a sword, or having more invincibility frames when you dodge attacks and such, you'll have more varieties of how you can attack, essentially. I am not sure what counted as VA, but I used to be a part of a drama group in elementary and high school, and I really enjoyed doing it. I even thought of working someday in theater as an actor, even if it's voluntary. Well, I mean, you can always show me your work and all that. I mean, I'm open to volunteers helping me with this game and all that. Like, I already have people that are going to be helping me with it. Like, I already have someone that is, like, 10 years younger than me being my reference actor, essentially, for the main character. Because your main character is definitely going to be something that you're going to design from the ground up. So you're going to design, you know, whether if your character is like you're going to select between like 4 different body types, essentially, and then choose whether or not if they're like male, female, or whatever, or probably going to do pronouns because that's essentially the thing nowadays. And then you also select the species of the character that you're playing as, because there's going to be a variety of species. So you can be a dog, wolf, bear, cat, dragon, so you can be a mythical creature like a dragon or whatever, a rabbit or whatever, so you can actually be multiple species, essentially. And essentially how this system is going to work is that it works as a paper doll system. How a paper doll system works is that essentially you have like the legs or body parts being individually, like individual sprites, essentially. And you can essentially customize the game to say, hey, I want this part of the body to be a specific color or whatever. You know, I want them to have a shirt, but make it black. I want to have, like, you know, their fur color be green, but make sure it's just the outer fur and not the inner fur. And make the inner fur, like, white or whatever. And make sure that their eyes are green, or make sure their eyes are blue. Like, I want that kind of customizable option of being able to create your own character, essentially. Build your character from the ground up. So it's the perfect definition of a blank slate build from the ground up, essentially. Do you think after Persona 6 and Persona 4 Rewind, it's Revival, not Rewind, Atlus will finally acknowledge the first 2 Persona games and make a remake? Time will tell. Who knows? Will you need musical talent in your game? At some point, yes. I do definitely want music in my game at some point, and I definitely have specific directions of how I want the music to go. Like, I definitely have certain emotions that I want to capture. So, like, one emotion can be like the feeling of like dealing with like abuse, or one emotion can be like the feeling of like lost identity, or one emotion can be the feel of like I'm a total unapologetic criminal or something like that. But yeah, I'll definitely need music for the game for sure. Now I'm fully able to watch the stream. I gotta say, I'm always glad to see when you're streaming this challenge. That's good to know. Okay, don't escape. Guard. Guard. Ah, nice critical. If only you'd use that against the bronze dice. Okay, I really need to start considering grinding against lower floor enemies at this point. Okay, so how far is Izanagi? I gotta make sure I don't accidentally overlevel him. Okay, I think I'm gonna fully explore floor 5 and then start going down floors, because I don't want to level Izanagi up before I have a chance to save, because I want to make sure I min-max particular stats on Izanagi, because it's possible for the game to randomize what stats go up exactly, and I want to make sure it's like strength, endurance, and agility, or prioritizing, you know, those particular stats over the other, because I don't want luck going up. Luck is going to be useless for the run, or for the Shadow Yukiko fight in particular, because apparently the fear status has a 100% chance of connecting, so no matter how much luck I have, I will be inflicted with fear, essentially. Wait, you're making a game? That's awesome. Yeah, as I've been describing for the last 7 minutes, yeah, I'm essentially making a game that's a mix of social simulation and dungeon crawling, but the dungeon crawling is definitely going to be hack and slash and not turn-based, and the social simulation is essentially going to have you bonding with, like, multiple friends and all that, and it has, like, multiple endings of the social aspects itself, so... Well, yeah, I'm going to have some romance mechanics and all that, and there's going to be options of romancing, you know, the same gender or even opposite gender, or maybe the specific friend is only attracted to one specific gender and all that. So, like, if you're bonding with your gay friend, like your gay male friend, you can only romance them if you're a male character, but if you're a female character, you stay in the friend zone, for example. So there's going to be enough variety where there is going to be a romance mechanic, but that's not going to be the main focus of the game at all. The main focus is essentially being able to spend time with your friends, and some of those friends are going to join you in dungeon crawling, such as, well, Yosuke and Chie here. Some of them will join you in the dungeon crawling, and the ones that don't at least provide passive benefits that make them worth spending time with. Oh, crap. Do I have a Vanish Ball? Of course I don't. Just escape. Thank you for deciding to not have us get hit, Teddy, because, yeah, I did not get a player advantage on that one. Does guarding prevent you from being inflicted with status ailments? Yeah, guarding does prevent you from being inflicted with status ailments, but it also prevents you from evading. So you will get, like, hit no matter what, essentially. Do we have priorities right now, or are we just going for, like, stats except luck equally? Essentially... Well, essentially, for the Shadow Yukiko fight, we really don't want to prioritize our luck stat. We want to prioritize our strength, endurance, and agility. Maybe magic, but definitely our strength stat. So strength, endurance, and agility. So agility for a better chance of hitting enemies and dodging. Endurance, so that way we have less of our HP points going down. And of course our strength, so we can do the most amount of physical damage, because right now we need the most amount of damage potential, dodging potential, and, well, tanking potential possible to make the Shadow Yukiko fight possible, essentially. Essentially, we've been at this grind for so many goddamn hours, so many goddamn days. Who knows if I'm ever going to release this run, but let's just say this run is already god-awful. it's essentially just a grind fest. That's practically what this entire run is. Okay, so 383. I should definitely highly consider getting to the lower floor now. Nah, just grind on floor 4. Grind on floor 4 because I definitely need to make sure that I don't level up Izanagi before I have a chance to save. Because I want to min-max certain stats on him, because certain stats go up by RNG on Izanagi, essentially. And I want to make sure that strength, agility, and endurance are the stats that are going up and nothing else. So wait, luck has a value. I thought it was like a useless stat. So having a high luck stat prevents against ailments? In theory, yes. Yes, having a higher luck stat can prevent the chances of you getting inflicted with ailments. However, Terror Voice in the boss fight itself has a 100% chance. So unless I'm guarding or I nullify said ailment, then I will be inflicted by that ailment, essentially. So the only way to not be inflicted is to have the ailment inflicted on someone who's guarding. So I gotta hope that it gets inflicted on Chie or Yosuke, because if it's inflicted on them while they're guarding, then they won't be inflicted, and it's a turn wasted. But if it gets onto you, and he's not guarding that turn, then he will be inflicted. Even if I have, like, 99 luck, or I have, like, resist fear on me, I will get inflicted with fear, because it's a 100% chance. Shit. Why do these shadows have to be so goddamn close to each other? And not that it matters. This is worth running away from. But yeah, I'm making a video game, essentially. I'm making a video game. It's definitely a game where not only can you design what your character looks like, but you have multiple choices of how to approach the story, how to advance the stories with your friends, essentially. So you can give them advice in a way that could either lead them in a certain direction, or you can even betray your friends as opposed to standing by them. But it's definitely a game that's going to give you like multiple options of how to approach the story, essentially. How far into development is the game? Pretty much nothing worth showing, essentially. Nothing worth showing. It's practically pre-production, essentially. It's not that far into development. It's only like maybe a month into it, and even then, most of that is pretty much me not working on the game because of real life work or me just needing time for myself and all that. Worst grind than no attack and run and reload? Well, no, that was definitely the worst grind, was the no attack and run and reload. At least this, I'm still attacking. The only reason I'm running is because I'm trying to avoid battles where I can potentially take damage, and right now I can't afford taking any damage because I have a limited amount of healing that I can do. And this is the last possible day I can save Shadow Yukiko, so I'm only engaging in battles where I know I can kill every single enemy without getting hit, essentially. Turn around, Shadow. Turn around, around you go. Good Shadow. Good boy. Turn around. Or girl. Or they, them. Whatever gender you are. Yeah, of course I'm getting battles against the trans twins, and I can't, of course I can't, get any more of their item because I already have 99 Wonder Cloths. But yeah, I'm gonna be rich by the end of this grind. I am so gonna be rich by the end of this grind. And since I already have the best possible armor and attacking weapon so far, the only potential thing that I can get that can at least improve myself is maybe some from the Tanaka shopping program, but I don't know what it gets included from the Tanaka shopping program later on, or if there's anything worthwhile, like, at all. Okay, good. The other enemy disappeared, so I don't have to engage in a double battle. Guard! Guard! Gotta go now. I'm leaving for work. Okay, Union Sainer. And be sure to send me a message if you do want that voice role or not. Again, it's going to be far into development, but definitely keep it in mind. How many people are in this project, or is it a solo project? I mean, I'm the main guy behind it, and I definitely have some people that are in the works on it. It's just in a it's in a pre-production state, so there's not too much to go off of right now, and I'm still getting people as I go. So it's still in the very early stages of development. But there is going to be multiple people involved to make this game happen, because there's definitely going to be aspects that I don't professionalize in, that I'm going to be terrible at, such as making music or voice acting certain characters that I definitely would not be able to voice, either because of my lack of talent, or I just don't have a feminine voice to voice female characters. And of course, some of the art direction, or some of the art of how the characters are going to look. Like, I'll try to do my best when it comes to the paper doll system on making the main character, but I might get an actual artist to actually make it look good. Right now, it's just one of those time will tell moments. Time will tell, because it will take time. Okay, I'm probably gaining like minuscule experience on this darn floor. Okay, maybe not as minuscule as I thought, but yeah, definitely getting closer to leveling up Izanagi. I just got to make sure that I get to a save before I level up Izanagi, because I want to make sure I min-max his stats to the point that he can level up the stats that I need, essentially. Again, strength, endurance, and agility is what I want to prioritize the most. Agility for a better chance of hitting the enemies, as well as dodging, because the Charming Prince has a chance of casting Tsukakaja, which increases his chances of dodging and hitting. So obviously, the higher my agility stat is, the more I can hopefully counteract it. Uh-oh. Land a critical. Shit. Yeah, I have to escape. Yeah, if I got a player advantage on that one, that I could definitely beat those Ravens without having to do that, but unfortunately I have to do that. Hi everyone, hope you're having a nice day. So far I am, yeah. It's thankfully not too hot, but I have a fan on me, so if you're hearing noise, it's probably the fan that is currently on me, so I can stay cool during this entire stream. And yeah, just been pretty much talking about how I've been doing, thoughts on what's going on with like Persona 4 Revival and such, and our expectations for it. Hoping that the prime time is not going to be overpowered, or some of the stuff like Marie having more screen time and all that, which will definitely hopefully improve her addition of being in the game and make her seem less like an addition in the game. And Twitter is right now a pretty toxic place, because people are complaining about the changes to Yosuke, essentially. Essentially, the changes that makes him less homophobic, essentially. And honestly, those are changes that I am more than fine on, of them either removing or watering down, honestly. Because honestly, they're not important to his character, like, at all. And honestly, the jabs just don't really lead anywhere other than just making him feel like a realistic teenager, which I guess is the main reason why people are against it. But then again, some people might be against it because they themselves might be homophobes. I don't know, but regardless of the reason, it's definitely a discourse that is like ridiculous. I mean, you got people that approve of it because I know some people don't like Yosuke because of his homophobic behavior towards Kanji, and then of course you got people that are for it because either A, they hate gay people in general, or B, it makes him feel like a realistic teenager, and it feels like it's taken away from the authenticity of him being a realistic teenager at the time of when it was released and all that. After all, this time period takes place in like the early 2010s, not 2027. Well, it's nighttime here. You're barely bearable in leaves, and this is why I don't use Twitter. Yeah, Twitter is a goddamn awful place, that's for sure. It's pretty much just moral high ground, and your opinion is only valid if you have the same opinion as someone else, essentially. But yeah, it's a goddamn nightmare, to say the least. I mean, personally, I'm all for the changes for Yosuke and all that. Like, removing those scenes where, yeah, he does kind of have that homophobic kind of behavior towards Kanji, I think is a fine change. Because, A, it wasn't really relevant to the story, unlike how Yukari saying, why did it have to be my dad and not hers and all that? Like, at least that's in character with the trauma that she is dealing with and all that. It makes her feel real. Whereas, you know, Kanji's behavior on Shadow Kanji really doesn't add to anything at all. And, you know, if the context is that he's a hidden homosexual, that'd be fine, except that's not what he is in the final game at all. So even if that was, like, the intent, well, he's not. He's not a romance option, so what the heck are people arguing about, you know? Though I will definitely say the one change that I do find a little odd is how Kanji's Shadow boss fight essentially has, like, not only the Mars symbol, but the Venus symbol as well. Essentially both the male and female symbols, as opposed to just two male symbols. I think that's kind of an odd change. Though I guess I can understand the reasoning behind it, because nowadays if a man is holding like two Mars symbols, then that's like, oh yeah, they're totally gay. And I think that's what why they made one of the symbols a Venus symbol, so that way they can emphasize that you know, his main dilemma is not him being gay, it's his struggles of maintaining his masculinity and all that. Or thinking that he has to be more manly by doing what's stereotypically considered manly things and all that. And I guess that is a fine change. Just an odd one because, you know, I get the point of what the whole Mars symbol is that showing that, you know, he's still manly inside. But obviously nowadays when people see two Mars symbols together, it's pretty much the idea of, oh, this is definitely a man that loves another man, essentially. And if you actually played the game, then you know that Kanji's main dilemma is not him being gay, it's him getting into hobbies that stereotypically are seen as feminine. And him pretty much accepting the fact that he shouldn't be embarrassed for what he's into. I got a tax refund and immediately used it to pre-order the collector's edition of 4 Revival. Really want that Yu and Izanagi statue. Persona 4 is my all-time favorite Persona. Sweet. I left all social media. Constant flow of negativity, not good for a person. Unfortunately, I can agree with that. Unfortunately, Twitter is essentially the people that fight for rightness. Like, if it's not fighting for, like, you know, racism or homophobia and all that, it's essentially just people fighting for rightness. That's literally what Twitter is. It's just people having the high ground and all that, and being able to say things because at least they have the shield of not being seen and all that. They have the shield of not being seen, so they can say things that they wouldn't say in real life because, well, they have that filter of not being able to be seen. Ooh, Ooh, yes, good crit, good crit, good crit. Why did you dodge like an idiot? Okay, at least I killed it. But yeah, social media can be very toxic, no doubt about that. But that's because, as Metaphor B Fantasio says, if people are not fighting for, like, you know, racism or prejudice and all that, they're fighting for rightness, because people want to be right, and that just feels, you know, empowering to them. It feels empowering to be on the right side of everything, or to have your opinions that you consider right to be heard and all that. And unfortunately, it is quite a toxic mindset, regardless if the intent behind it is good or not. And more often than not, it's usually people getting offended for someone else. It's usually someone getting offended for someone else. It's not to say that people aren't, you know, getting offended for something that they personally are, you know, trans, gay, or whatever, or Muslim, or Islamic, whatever, yeah. To quote Kanji himself, it doesn't matter if it's a guy or a chick, I'm just scared of being rejected. Pretty much, yeah. They are no doubt going to write or rewrite lines around Kanji and Naoto to make their truths a little bit more clear, that Naoto's dilemma is not her being trans, it's her rejecting the fact that of who she truly is and all that, because she's trying to fit into something that's male dominated and all that, and her thinking she has to be something she's not, because when people are trans, they're not pretending to be the opposite gender, they feel like they are that gender. I know that's kind of a controversial thing, and some people still think that trans people are just people that are pretending to be something they're not, which I can assure you that's not the case of what trans people are. But obviously, that's still something that is, like, highly debated these days, and unfortunately something that is never going to stop for as long as we live. Like, I'm all for trans rights, I'm all for gay rights. In fact, I'm a bisexual man who has a boyfriend. You know, I'm all for LGBT rights and all that, but unfortunately we still live in a reality where these rejections happen and people feel the need of having to right the wrongs, essentially. And regardless of how good the intent is, you know, Twitter provides that perfect shield of, like, masking who they look like so they can say anything they want without filters, not realizing they're making themselves look like a bigger asshole. Wait, no, guard. I can kill this thing. Okay, let's see where Izanagi's stats are. I'm on floor 3. Okay, 180, so I'm getting close to at least getting Izanagi to the next level. I just need to make sure that once he's under 100 that I get back to floor 1. Slowly but surely get him closer to the next level, and then get him, you know, leveled up after I saved. But yeah, I hope you guys are excited for the possibility of Nitsa Gamer releasing an original video game, because yeah, I'm making an original video game. I'm the main guy behind this game, and there's going to be a collaborative of people behind it, so I'm not going to be like Yandere Dev trying to one-man everything, or whatever, or anything like that. I am definitely going to have a collaborative effort when it comes to creating this video game. And I'm definitely going to have input on how to write certain character arcs, because obviously I'm not going to be able to relate to every single character that I write. So hopefully people that can relate to some of the dilemmas that I'm writing can at least write it in a way that feels real. Definitely excited. Excellent. Okay, where are we in terms of stats? 163. Yeah, I've been fooling you guys this entire time. This has definitely been a grind to level 99 challenge. That's what this run has been this whole time. Hell no. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to create my first original video game, and I'm hoping it's something that can be a success. I mean, it's probably not going to be as successful as, say, Undertale, but I hope it's something that can at least give me a new possible career to consider. Because I've been wanting to be like a film director and writer and all that, and let's just say that hasn't been doing so well, because unless you're already popular or rich, you're not getting anywhere in the industry. Like, at all. Whereas at least making an independent video game, especially if I, like, main man most of it, while also having volunteers or people that can accept low pay for, like, certain aspects of the game, and maybe over time, you know, hire people that can actually make things better, especially when it comes to, like, voice acting and such, or maybe polishing up some of the sprites and all that. Like, hopefully I can actually make something that can actually be everlasting. Everlasting, timeless, or who knows what. It's probably not going to achieve Undertale status of popularity, but who knows? Time will tell. Turn around, Shadow. Turn around, turn around, turn around you go. Turn around you go. Magic Magus, come on. Oh, it's not the Magic Magus. Okay, I guess I can only get those guys on the 5th floor. God damn it. But yeah, I definitely look forward to eventually showing off this game and showing what it has to offer. So as I said, it's going to have a mix of like social sim elements and such. It's going to have like dungeon crawling, but it's definitely going to be more hack and slash and action oriented than it's not going to be turn-based at all. It won't be a turn-based game. It will definitely have Persona-inspired elements, but it's definitely going to heavily deviate from Persona for sure. And it's going to have like multiple routes and endings, not just based on you know, the endings you get, but also based on what you do with like your friendship routes and all that. Like, it's possible to betray your friends, but betraying your friends can be a potential gameplay benefit, as opposed to just being a negative, oh, you're an asshole, or whatever. But it also... But also, being an asshole does have its, like, repercussions. It's not like being an asshole is going to be all positive. And yeah, you can create your own original character. You can make it any species, essentially. So you can make it a dog, cat, wolf, fox, rabbit, dragon, or whatever. You can make it any species, any gender you want. And then you can also have it be any body or fur color you want. Name it your character whatever you want, and then you essentially just build your relationships from there. Okay, gotta run. Looking forward to hearing more about this game. Any game genres you're considering, RPG, visual novel, it's definitely not going to be visual novel for sure. It won't be visual novel, but it will definitely have lots of like dialogue boxes and talking for sure. Similar to kind of like the social simulation and like Persona games, it will have a lot of socializing in the game. And I want to be able to have like multiple routes of how you can take, you know, your friendships and all that. Like you can give them specific advice, and how they take your advice can differ how their story ends. It's possible to betray your friends. It's possible to side with like one friend over the other, or not side with either of them, resulting in a path where you just don't bond with either of them, or can no longer bond with either of them. You got main dungeons that you got to go through that you got to complete in a certain amount of time. You got resources that you got to consider, and you have a choice of what stats or abilities you can improve on your main character. You can also improve the abilities on your friends, and your friends will specialize in different things. So one can specialize in just, using a katana. One can specialize in range combat. One can specialize in primarily healing. And you can actually set certain tactics to them, like, hey, always cover me or do whatever you want. Make sure you heal if I'm at a certain percentage of my health. Or always make sure that you're always following me so you can heal me, etc. and all that. But yeah, in terms of like genre, it's definitely going to be RPG, action-adventure, with social simulation and all that. And it's definitely going to be a game where your own choices is going to determine like the path you take. So it's going to be kind of like Fallout in a way, where essentially you have like multiple routes that you can take for not only the characters you interact with, but also following what you truly believe is right, because it's going to be a system where it revolves around following what you truly believe is right. So you could do something that is like so morally wrong and whatever, but yet it still counts as an authentic experience because you click the buttons to say, yes, I want to be down this particular path. I believe this is the right choice. Or you just went down this path because you just want to see, how interesting the story would be if you were to be, an asshole or whatever. Or because you want to, or you believe that this path is like more morally right than another path or whatever. Again, I'm being pretty vague on it because I don't want to spoil anything on the game. I'm being purposely vague. But I'll definitely say it's definitely an experience that anybody can get into. And it's definitely going to be a game with anthropomorphic characters in it. So, as I said, you can be any species you want. You can be a wolf, you can be a dog, you can be a fox, you can be a dragon, and you're walking on twos, essentially. You can have any skin, scale, or fur color you want. And you can be male, female, you can be non-binary, transgender, whatever. You have like enough variety to essentially create your own character, essentially. And then you can bond with friends. You can have multiple routes that you can take them. Some of them you can actually be in a romantic relationship with. Some friends will only romance you if you're a specific gender. So if you have like a gay friend, for example, like a gay guy, for example, you could only romance him if you're also a guy, but if you're a female, then you're just stuck in the friend zone with them. Alternatively, there could be a straight guy, for example, and he's only romanceable if you're the opposite sex. Alternatively, you could have someone that is impossible to romance no matter what you are, or someone that doesn't care what gender you are and you can romance them no matter what. And I haven't really decided if there's going to be like an open relationship system where you can romance like multiple people at once or enter into a poly relationship or not, or if I'm just going to have like a cheating mechanic where they realize, wait, you're also dating them too, and then they feel betrayed and all that. Like, I still haven't decided if a poly system should be in there or if you can only romance like one character at a time. It's hard to say, but yeah. Don't want to draw attention to myself, but I can definitely relate to the abuse part. Dad, alcoholic. I see. Sorry you have to deal with that. So, action RPG with social elements that affects your skills, etc. Nice, sounds good. Yeah. It's definitely something that's going to definitely take years before it's ready to be played, for sure. And it's definitely a game that, while I'm the main guy behind it and the main overseer of the entire game and the main guy with the main story, I am going to have people helping me with it, whether if it's like critiques on like the story beats or how certain character interactions will go, because there's some character interactions where I don't fully know what, those kind of characters would go through, whether if it's like abuse or the dilemmas of like identity or whatever. Like, I could definitely, relate to some aspects, but a lot of aspects I may not be able to relate to. So having like multiple people with multiple backgrounds will definitely be beneficial in making it feel like an authentic, oh yeah, these are real people that you are bonding with. Yeah, they might be anthropomorphic characters, but these are definitely human problems that I can definitely relate to or whatever. Oh, shit. Okay, 42, 42. Yeah, I need to start heading down to the first floor now. I can't level up Izanagi. I need to make sure I save before I level up Izanagi. So I just need to beeline straight to the first floor. Make sure I don't level up Izanagi because I want to make sure I min-max particular stats on him. So strength, endurance, and agility is what I want to min-max. If I get a point in luck, reset. Because luck is not going to help me against Shadow Yukiko. No need to apologize. I know it's probably not right to say, but I'm used to it by now. Yeah, if you're used to it, that means you've been in it for so long. And that's definitely a problem. If you're used to something that you know is bad, then it is bad. Familiarity is comforting. Something new and is probably healthier for you is scary at first, but is definitely better for you to go for. So if you can get out of that abusive relationship that you have, then it's definitely for the best for your health. So I hope you can get out of that abuse, if it's still a problem or not. If it's still a problem, I hope you can get out of it at some point. But, yeah. I seriously hope the best for you. That's all I can say. Alright, so I'll just fight some of the enemies on my way out, and then I'm gonna save. Min-max to the point where I only have like a few EXP left to level up Izanagi, and I need to make sure that I level up strength, endurance, and agility. And if I get a single point in luck, then that's a reset, because that's a stat that is wasted, because luck is not helping me at all during the Shadow Yukiko fight, considering that Terror Voice has a 100% chance of connecting. And it will be also a good excuse to grind on some floor 1 enemies, considering that I don't have 99 other items yet. And the more items that I gain from these enemies, the more money I can gain when I sell all this stuff. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a game that has social simulation aspects, multiple endings, multiple routes of how you can take your friendships and all that. Like, it's possible to betray them, and betraying them can be a benefit, but also have some negative effects behind it. It depends on how you betray them, I guess. I guess if you say something like, oh, your problems don't matter, you're overthinking it, then they're obviously not gonna like you saying that, and you're definitely gonna lose your friendship with them. Alternatively, if you you know, stick with them thin and through and all that, then you're gonna be in a good relationship with them. Or if you're at a point where you have to choose between, you know, 2 different people and you choose one over the other, it's not going to be much of a disadvantage because it's scripted for you to actually choose sides, or even choose to not choose sides, depending on how you go about it. So yeah, I think once I level up Izanagi, I'm gonna maybe level up my party members so they're at least level 22 as well. So that means I'm definitely going to be grinding for longer. I'm definitely going to be grinding for longer after I level up Izanagi, mostly just so I can get my party members up an extra level, just so they have more HP or whatever. Okay, get a critical, you. Get a critical. Okay, of course he didn't get a critical because that would have been convenient. What's up, Nitsa? Back to min-maxing. I mean, it's always been min-maxing. But anyways, let's see. Where is Izanagi now? So 18. So we're gonna leave the castle. We're gonna save, which means all the grinding that we've done has all been for something. It's all been for something. And actually, how many of the stuff have we been gaining over time? Oh, we have 10 supplementals from the Magic Magus. Nice. So whatever item gets fused at the armor shop will definitely be fused. I mean, I don't know what it is. For all I know, it could be something that's for females only, or for Yosuke or Chie, but if it's for them, then it's useless. But hey, at least the more items I gain of that, the better. So anyway, let's return to the entrance and save before my power goes out or something. Okay. Save over file 4. Alright, so now we're just going to grind on floor 1 enemies until Izanagi is close to leveling up, and then we're going to mid-max particular stats on him to increase, because we want to increase the stats that is definitely going to help us guarantee a success of full attempt against Shadow Yukiko. Now, mind you, I think when it comes to damage scaling, I think it's based on player level and not persona level, but on the off chance that persona level does affect like damage scaling, then definitely getting Izanagi up an extra level above Shadow Yukiko will definitely be beneficial. But yeah, I am definitely so excited to eventually reveal the game that I am making. It's gonna take a long time, but we'll see in due time. Come on, get a critical, you dumbass.
Okay, I'll look for it. Oh, there! Now's your chance to run.
But yeah, it's not the first time that I personally mentioned that I'm making a video game, but this is definitely the most amount of people that I've confessed it to, at least on this channel. So hopefully in due time, in like months from now, I have something that I can show off that is worthwhile showing off.
Just one enemy left. Great work.
So we'll grind on floor 1 enemies to slowly get Izanagi to the threshold of leveling up. We'll also gain in their items because we don't have 99 of their items. So let me just check Izanagi's stats. So 15. I think I was like 18 last time. So I only gained 3 stats on that. So I can probably grind on every single enemy that is on this floor and then leave before crossing the threshold of leveling up. And hey, at least all this grinding is not useless, considering that A, I'm gaining money as well as gaining the materials to sell for money. Oh my god, can you stop turning around, you stupid shadow? Okay, 2. 2 is definitely more doable to fight up against, unless I miss like an idiot.
One enemy. Fight, fight, fight. Victory.
Okay, so I gained 4 EXP from that, so am I like 11 points? Yep, 11. So we're just slowly but surely getting ourselves to the threshold of leveling up, and then once we get to the threshold of leveling up, that's when we'll save, and then we're gonna go back and try to min-max the stats we need. That's essentially the plan for grinding. Turn around, turn around, turn around you go. Turn around, Mr. Shadow. Turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around, round, 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 round you go. Turn around, round, round you go. Good luck. Hope development goes well. I hope it goes well too. Apparently it makes a 5-iron protagonist weapon golf club, 71 attack, and 95 accuracy. I think that's actually inferior compared to what I have. So it's a golf club with 71 attack and 95 accuracy. I think that's actually inferior compared to what I have. Like, let me just double check. Wait, no, not personas. Equipment. So 71 attack. This is 78 attack. And if that's a 75 accuracy, this is a 98 accuracy with 3+ agility. So no, what I have is definitely superior. At least it'll give me an alternate weapon to use for you, but I'll definitely never use it. I'm definitely keeping this katana equipped for the entire, for pretty much the entire time I'm in here, and for as long as I can, and Shadow Kanji's dungeon until I get a better weapon. Oh, shit. So yeah, definitely inferior, but hey, at least we get the materials to sell. Ugh. Okay, so where are we in terms of stats? 9. Okay, no shadow here. And yeah, if you're playing the golden version, apparently the fog is all black, but in here it's actually fog. Turn around, Shadow. Turn around, around you go. Turn around, Mr. Shadow. Turn around, around you go. Turn around, Mr. Shadow. Turn around, around you go. Turn around, around you go. Round and around and around you go. Turn around, Mr. Shadow, you go. And give you a bigger butt crack than you have. Okay, so this should give me like 4 EXP if I defeat 2 of them, right? They give me like 2 EXP each, right? So after 4, I should have like at least 5 EXP left on Izanagi, right? But yeah, that's actually one system that I look forward to with the game I'm making, is the ability to actually have your main protagonist be anything you want. So you can be any species you want, any gender you want, and I think I'll also have like different voice actors, like maybe like 7 or 8 different voices that you can actually add onto your character for different, like, you know, hits and such, to emphasize, oh yeah, my own character and all that. Nice crit. Okay, how much do I have? Okay, 3, so I only need 2 EXP to level up. 1 Lion Habiri. Okay, so 1 enemy is enough to level up, essentially. Okay, so 1 enemy is enough to level up, so now we're just going to get out of this dungeon, ignore any enemies on our way out. Ignore any enemies on my way out. Get out of the dungeon, save, and then we're going to do 1 battle and try to min-max stats that is not luck. And if we have to reload to get better stats, then reload to get better stats. So we want agility for a better chance of attacking and dodging. Strength to increase our, well, strength damage. And endurance to endure damage. I think out of all of them, I think strength is probably more important, because if I get strength, then at least I can defeat the magic hands efficiently if I need to grind more. Okay, so I just got to remember I'm file 4. So I'm file number 4 if I need to grind more. Excuse me. So just grind on any level 1 enemy. And then try to get particular stats to increase on Izanagi. So I think I should definitely make sure that strength goes up at the very least. Strength goes up, and make sure the rest of the points either go into endurance, agility, and maybe magic. But if a single point goes to luck, then I reset. Alright, turn around, Mr. Shadow. You're gonna be my victim for leveling up my Izanagi. Sounds dirty out of context. How fitting that I kill a liar to level up. And here we go. Let's see. 3 points into my magic? Yeah, that's going to be a definite reset. I mean, that's actually not bad, but yeah, I'm going to reset that. That's definitely not good. Unfortunately, there's no way to reload a file. I have to legit go to the title screen and reselect my file in order to get back to where I was. Oh yeah, and it was 2011 that this takes place in, not 2012. I thought it was 2012 for some reason, but no, it's 2011. Alright. So yeah, I'm probably going to guarantee that I'm not going to upload this challenge run before Persona 4 Revival comes out. But who knows? Maybe if I'm dedicated enough, I might get it out. The only reason it's definitely a great idea for me to stream this is because at least I know I'm getting the most amount of viewers streaming this compared to Persona 1 or Final Fantasy 1 or literally any other challenge run that I do. Alright, let's defeat these two liars. And man, they made these things ugly in the remake. Their tongue is definitely pretty detailed in the remake. Okay, there we go. Strength, magic, and agility. Okay, this is good. This is good. I mean, it's just 1 point in strength. Magic is good since I might potentially need to rely on using Zio instead of my strength. And agility is also good because that means I have a better chance of actually landing my hits and also dodging attacks. So I think I'm happy with this level up. So yeah, the stats are completely randomized, so I definitely don't want to rely on luck because luck is not going to be as useful. So 1 point in strength, 1 point in magic, and 1 point in agility. And 1 level better than Shadow Yukiko. And, while I'm at it, how many points do I need to level up to the next level? 4,208? Yeah, that's going to require multiple streaming days if I'm getting Izanagi to level 17. Yeah, screw that. But, I will definitely continue streaming because I'm definitely going to try to get at least my main characters up to level 22 at the least. Just so I have at least more damage potential and better damage scaling, against Shadow Yukiko. So, nope, the grind is not over. I've already min-maxed the stats that I need on Izanagi. So I'm just going to go back to the entrance, save the stats that I already have on Izanagi, and I'm going to continue to grind until my party all reach level 22. So it's probably going to be another hour or two or whatever, but yeah. The grind is not over, guys, which means we can still talk more about Persona 4 Revival and how definitely inferior it's going to be because it's not 100% like the original. So save. Let's search for Yukiko again. So there we go. Better agility, so less chance of hopefully missing attacks. Better strength, so hopefully we can defeat the magic hands in 1 hit. I'm hoping we can. I hope we can defeat the magic hands in 1 hit without having to miss on purpose like an idiot. But yeah, we're going to grind at least up 1 extra level for our 3 main characters, and then after we get them leveled up, we're gonna, well, end the stream. End the stream, and then I'm gonna see if I can beat Shadow Yukiko with the stats I'm at. So we're gonna go back to floors 3, 4, and 5, but I'm just gonna grind against the enemies on the way up since I don't have 99 of their items. To quote certain Metal Gear Solid player, not yet, and it's not over yet. I mean, I hope that's Metal Gear Solid, the abbreviation. So yeah, again, I don't want to spoil too much when it comes to the game that I'm trying to make, but I'll definitely say I am making an original video game, and I hope it's something that you guys can definitely be interested in playing. I'll definitely say it'll have some gameplay mechanics that are similar to some RPGs that you probably already played, such as Persona, for example. It's definitely going to be a heavy story-based game that will have like multiple endings based on your own choices. Based on whether or not if you betray your friends, side with your friends, or if you agree with like a certain morality or how a way of life should be or whatever. There's going to be some romance in it, for sure. There's going to be some romance in it, but that's not the main focus of the game. The main focus of the game is essentially just living your own world, essentially, and doing the dungeon crawling and, well, doing the best you can to be the better version of yourself. So now that Izanagi is up 1 level and we got an extra point in our strength, magic, and agility, we're just going to grind an extra level, get all 3 characters leveled up, including our meat shields, because our meat shields are actually reliable if they stay alive. And I have like more than enough time to definitely keep grinding until I eventually reach level 22. But once I reach level 22 with everyone, that'll be the end of the stream, and hopefully these stats are enough for me to finally beat Shadow Yukiko, because goddamn, the amount of grinding I've had to do just to make Shadow Yukiko possible without having to do a billion reloads until I eventually make it possible is ridiculous. And considering that I'm doing a solo run with the starting persona, I don't think overgrinding is like against the rules, like at all. Okay, thank God it's only 2 Black Ravens, so I can definitely defeat them before they attack me. Because their first move will always be a Tarakaja. Alright, a Wonder Cloth and a Black Lamp. Too bad those are useless because I already have 99 of each of them. I mean, if I had the option to be able to go back to the real world and sell all my stuff, I would, but I can't, because this is literally the final day I can save Shadow Yukiko. So hopefully I can get more battles against the Magic Magus, the Magic Hands, and hopefully I can defeat the Magic Hands in 1 hit. Guard, guard.
Just 1 enemy left.
Alright. So yeah, the fact that there's going to be anthropomorphic characters in my video game, then you know that it's not going to be, you know, human characters you're playing as. Or are you? Okay, I'm not going to reveal much, but you'll see when the game eventually gets released what I'm aiming towards. And God damn it, of course the charger has been in my phone and it hasn't been goddamn charging. You better charge, okay? It's at 15% right now. So, is there anything you guys have on your mind? Questions about my video game? Questions on my thoughts for Persona 6 or Persona 4 Revival? Or just Nitsa Gamer stuff in general? Or how's life? Is trans rights human rights? Yes, they are. What do you guys have in mind that you would like to ask?
1 enemy. Now's your chance.
Or say? So yeah, it's going to take freaking forever for us to level up, but we'll slowly but surely get there. Okay, we're actually already under 700. We were definitely over 700 when we started, so okay, maybe this won't be as long of a grind than I thought it would. Turn around, 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 around you go. Turn around you go. Turn around, around, around you go. There you go. Here's a bigger butt crack.
There's only 1 enemy. Go for a first strike.
Why'd you dodge? I improved my agility stat. I improved my agility stat. How the heck did I miss? I mean, at least it's better than just slipping and falling down on my butt, but there's no reason you should have missed, like at all. Hopefully the agility stat actually works in this game and it does what it says it's supposed to do. Increase my accuracy and evasion chance. Ah. Stupid Shadow, why do you keep turning around when I don't want you to turn around?
Two enemies. You can attack.
Nice, I didn't even level up my luck, and yay. Now hopefully with that one stat increase in strength, I can just defeat these hands in one hit. Because yeah, lately it's been RNG whether or not I defeat those magic hands in one hit. I definitely need to make sure I defeat those magic hands in one hit. And since I don't have 99 other items, I definitely want to make sure I can defeat those magic hands in one hit. All the more reason why I definitely wanted my strength stat to go up. Alright. Turn around you go. Turn around you go. Turn around you go. Turn around, Mr. Shadow. Turn around you go. Turn around you go, Mr. Shadow. Turn around you go. Turn around or else I'm gonna accidentally cut my friend's legs off. Or whack Yosuke in the nads. Hopefully I'm killing these magic hands in one hit. Okay, so far I am. Here's a question. When it comes to role-playing games, do you usually like to play a good guy or bad guy based on your choices? Definitely 99% of the times go for the good guy route. For me, I guess I mostly go for what I would morally choose if I was in that situation. But I think usually for first playthroughs, I think being the good guy is usually the best route to go for. Being a good guy, but also going towards choices that I would personally make if I were in that situation, while maybe doing some bad things here and there. Like when I did Red Dead Redemption 2 for the first time recently, I pretty much went with a high honor route because in real life that's what I would actually do. I would definitely go for a high honor route, but I did do some immoral things that definitely lowered my honor for sure. You know, like robbing people or killing a horse purposely. But in real life, I definitely would not kill a horse. I only did it out of rage because I was trying to steal stuff from its, like, saddlebag, and it kicked me, and I was like, okay, fine, take this, horsey. Yeah, don't shoot a horse because it severely lowers your honor meter. But, yeah, when I was playing that game, I essentially went for mostly choices that I would definitely pick if I was in that situation. Well, mostly playing the good guy. And it seems like the best way to play Red Dead Redemption 2 is to actually have a high honor in the first place. But yeah, usually when I play role-playing games, I usually go with mostly good choices while occasionally doing some bad things here and there. Like when I'm playing the Fallout games, I usually pick good choices, but I have no shame of like robbing and stealing if nobody is looking. Like when playing Fallout 4, for example, I mostly pick good choices, but then when I have the option of sneaking into a shopkeeper's house, I steal all their stuff, sell all the stuff to the shopkeeper unknowingly that they're buying the stuff that I stole from them, just so I can actually not only, you know, get stuff that they have, you know, more bullets, more health or stim packs or whatever, but also have more money when I was bartering with them, essentially selling all the useless crap in their house and giving them all the stuff that I stole from their house. And the game just never makes them realize that I'm selling stuff that I specifically stole from their house. You know, it's always so fun to do that, honestly. I mean, it takes time, it can be repetitive as heck, but it's a nice way of making money. Have to get up for work in 6 hours. Good night, everyone. Hope the grind goes well. Alright, you have good sleep, Ryoka Freak. And I wish you the best with work, whatever you do. Alright, so let me just check my stats, see where I am. Okay, 604. So, obviously I'm not going to finish the grind until all of the characters get to level 22, not just my main character. Because the more levels that are on Yosuke and Chie, the more reliable meat shields they will be. And I definitely need them to be reliable meat shields. So, I know grinding on floor 6 enemies is pretty much fruitless, but I just want to see at least what enemy I'm fighting against. Yeah, definitely not defeating an Avenger Knight. Even if I got a crit on Avenger Knight, that is just not doable. So we're ignoring any enemies on floor 6 and up. until Shadow Yukiko, that is. And just grind on floor 5, 4, and 3 enemies until we eventually level up. But yeah, if we start getting way too many enemies on floor 5 where we just have to run, I'm definitely going to prioritize 4 and 3. Yeah, definitely in those kind of games, I usually do like, if I was asked this question in the situation in real life, what would I choose? Yeah, essentially when I do role-playing games, I usually choose what I would personally pick in real life, but I don't shy away from doing like bad things. Like in Fallout, yeah, I'll definitely mostly pick good things or choose what I think is morally right, but I don't shy away from like being an absolute thief, stealing everything from a shopkeeper's house, and then selling all that stuff to the shopkeeper while also buying bullets and stuff that will help me in battle, and essentially gaining more money from the shopkeeper than if I were to barter with them without stealing, essentially. Or in Hogwarts Legacy, I would have no shame of using like the unforgivable curses or siding with Sebastian, but still do morally correct things according to society. Not afraid of a little bit of chaos, essentially. But yeah, my game will definitely have some morality choices, but it will definitely heavily lean towards you know, doing what you can to try to help people. It's just how you help people is definitely going to differ. You know, going towards what you think is like morally right for them or what you think is just morally right in general.
Just one enemy left.
Torakaja!
Great work.
But yeah, my game is definitely something that I'm hoping that I can release at some point. Like, yeah, I'm being purposely vague on it, on its premise, its setting, but I will definitely say it will have social simulation aspects. It will be hack and slash, so it's not going to be a turn-based game. It's definitely going to have some inspiration from Persona, but it's definitely going to heavily deviate from what Persona is and be its own unique type of game that has, you know, social simulation and dungeon crawling aspects, for sure. And you can set up how your own anthropomorphic character is going to look like, so you're definitely going to be playing as an anthropomorphic character. So you can be a dog, cat, fox, bird, bear, or whatever, or dragon, so you can definitely be, you know, something that's mythical, but still public domain to use. Like, for example, if I were to use, like, the Singelis from, like, Halo, I can't because they're not public domain. If I were to use, like, Sergals, which are popular in the furry community, I can't because those are also public domain. Or, no, they're not public domain, believe it or not. They are copywritten. But dragons, however, are definitely public domain and are fair use, so I will definitely have the option of you being a dragon if you want to be a dragon, and not a wolf or a cat or whatever. And there's not going to be a benefit of being a certain species over the other. It's just more or less you just expressing who you want to be, essentially.
There's only one enemy. Go for a first strike.
Yeah. You, can you get more criticals?
Chance to run.
You're making a game? Yep, I'm making a game. I have nothing worthwhile showing right now. At least nothing that's either doesn't look like crap right now, or something that is, like, you know, going to be revealing spoilers. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a game with social simulation. You have your own custom character that can look like a anthropomorphic animal, whether if it's fictitious like a dragon or real like a dog, cat, wolf, or whatever. And you can essentially design your character to be a certain way. You can make your own choices based on, like, you know, your own beliefs and morality and all that. You can take your friendships in, like, different ways. You can betray your friends. You can guide your friends down different paths based on what you think is right or what you think would be cool to see or whatever.
Two enemies. You can attack before them.
Okay. Guard. Guard. Nice. I would play a black or purple bird to be a raven. Oh, that'd be a great idea. I mean, I don't know how much variety I'm going to have with the character customizing, because I'm going to have enough variety, but I know I'm going to have limitations. Like, I think when it comes to bird characters, I'm going to have either, like, the standard bird and raven or crow, as you mentioned before, and probably, like, an eagle. But I'm probably not going to have enough variety for, like, every single type of bird species. There's definitely going to be limitations, for sure. And it's not more or less that I want limitations, it's more or less the time to create these type of characters. But, you know, over the time of the game's development, I will try to add different types of the same species. So if you want to be a dog, you can just be your standard dog with like a tail. You can be a husky with your tail up and your butt fully exposed or whatever. Or you can be like a Doberman, you can be a wolf, or you can be a fox, so different canine characters. And when it comes to being a cat, you can be like a cat, or a tiger, or even a lion. So there's definitely going to be some variations of the same type of species, but it's definitely going to still be limited, unfortunately. Like, I want to try to have enough variety that people can actually be expressive with what type of species they want to be. And of course, there's going to be, you know, certain varieties, like what type of body type do you have? Are you a slight bit overweight? Are you absolutely fit? Do you have a female bust or whatever? And also, you do have options of, like, what gender you want to be. So if you want to be, like, a non-binary character or a trans character, you can definitely design your character to be like that. You don't have to be just male or female. So I definitely want enough variety with, you know, the type of character you want to be. Maybe you can add modding support? Oh, that's possible. I mean, I'll definitely need more experienced people to show how it's done. But yeah, if there is options to add, like, maybe the ability to have people mod their own original characters in to make it look exactly like the characters they envision, and not have as much limitations that I might potentially have, then yeah, that would definitely be absolutely great. And honestly, something that I would not be against. I would not be against someone's ability to mod, like, their own original character in the game. So, like, if someone wants to, like, add a mod where you play a Sonic in the game or whatever, because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have an anthropomorphic hedgehog character. I don't think that's going to be an option. Like, I'll definitely have, like, a dog, cat, bear, bird, and whatever, but I don't think I'm going to have an anthropomorphic hedgehog or whatever. So if you want to play a Sonic or whatever, then that is definitely something that you'll have to mod yourself. I don't know. I think anthropomorphic hedgehogs are not really that popular unless you're in the Sonic fandom or something. When it comes to watching somebody stream, do you enjoy more watching the stream or chatting with people in the chat during the stream? What do you pay more attention to? Personally, I pay more attention to the reactions and emotions that the streamer themselves go through when it comes to what they're streaming. So, like, if a sad scene is coming up, it's always so great just seeing their emotions be sad. Or if a funny scene is coming up, it's always fun just seeing them laugh about something. Like, I love seeing the raw emotions of someone seeing something for, like, the first time. Like, that's honestly what I enjoy the most of the streams, is seeing, like, the reactions and emotions that the streamer goes through. Seems like you have a lot of options for roleplay. I mean, that is the idea. I want enough variety that there's enough replay value. Like, you can do a dozen playthroughs and still not get everything in the game. And even if you don't get everything in the game, there's going to be enough documentation online, if the game gets popular, showcasing, you know, what would happen if I were to betray a friend, and what would happen if I were to side with this friend during this point of the story or whatever. Or what would happen if I side with my friend, but also side with this other friend and whatever, because that could also deviate based on the storyline and what is happening in the story. Because it's definitely going to be one of those games where the problems start off small, but they get bigger over time. Kind of like how in Persona, where the problems start off small but get bigger over time. Particularly with Persona 5, where it starts off with a PE teacher abusing students, but then it gets bigger from there, from like a mafia crime boss to people with government control to a goddamn god, and someone who has god powers to change reality and all that. Like, I'm trying to be vague on spoilers, but yeah. I would personally say 75% chatting, 75% watching the stream. Interesting. Okay, so 455, so I still need another 500 EXP before everyone starts leveling up. So I'm going to go back to floor 5. And yeah, I'm going to have a system that is kind of like the sphere grid system or the AP system from like Final Fantasy 15, where you actually get to choose what stats go up. Like, personally, I think the level up system in RPGs is quite a broken mechanic. Like, it's pretty much, if you're over leveled, you're good. If you're under leveled, you're screwed. I personally don't like that. But I definitely want to have ways of, like, improving your stats. So, like, if you fight enough enemies, you'll have points that you can allocate to, like, particular stats. And as the player, you have the choice of prioritizing being, like, a character that hits hard, a character that can be less of a glass cannon, or a character that has more invincibility frames when they're dodge rolling out of the way of an enemy attack, essentially. Like, I definitely want that customizing player expression when it comes to what they want to change or add or improve on when it comes to, like, creating what kind of role they want. Do they want to hit hard? Do they want to be endurable and all that? And if you prioritize, just on strength attacks, you're making yourself more of a glass cannon. If you're prioritizing yourself, making yourself less of a glass cannon, you're spending less time improving your attacks. But there's also going to be skill. There's going to be skill and not just stats. And also, resource management. And also not just upgrading yourself, but also upgrading your friends' stats, making them reliable in certain situations. Either having more magic points, hit points, attack power, or increasing the amount of healing that they do, or whatever, if they're a healer. Personally, I think the level system in RPGs is starting to get a little dated, and that's something that I want to make different in my game, is that I don't want level ups. I want points that you get from enemies, and even if you gain a certain amount of points where you can start increasing stats, you're not better right away. You actually have to pause and go into a system where you have to improve those stats manually yourself, and you have a choice of either making yourself stronger, less of a glass cannon, more invincibility frames when you dodge certain attacks or get out of the way of certain attacks, or you can improve certain attacks like elemental damage or defense or parry attacks, or you can have a separate system where you can improve your friends and all that, and depending on what friend in the game is the most reliable to rely on, then I want my melee attacker to have more hit points but also more attack power. I want my healer to have more endurance, so that way they're less of a glass cannon and I can rely on them for more healing. But alternatively, I should probably invest them in being able to heal more, so that way they can be more reliable as a healer. But if I rely on healing, like having them heal, more points, I also have the disadvantage of making them more of a glass cannon. So you do have a choice of either balancing it out or prioritizing one stat over the other. So there's like player expression and customization of how you go about it when it comes to leveling up your characters and increasing their stats without having a level up system, essentially. Question for the social element. Are you going to have social stats or something like that? No, this isn't Persona. I'm just curious how it works. I don't think I'm going to have social stats. I don't think I'm going to have stuff like knowledge, charm, guts, or anything like that. I don't think I'm going to have that particular thing, but I do have something called talent stats, essentially, because you're essentially playing as adults, so you're not in a school setting. You're not in a school setting. You're playing as young adults in this game. And I think what I'm going to have is something called a talent stat. And how the talent stat works is that you specialize in certain talents, essentially. So if you specialize in dancing, you can be more proficient in dancing. If you specialize in like IT and computers, then you specialize more in like IT and computer related stuff. If you specialize in like cooking, you can actually cook your own food that has more benefits than if you were to buy it from a store, which you can use passively in dungeons to restore your HP, MP, or certain mechanics that hinder you that, you know, buying store-bought food would essentially not cover, essentially. And also by buying your own food and making your own food, you essentially have less cost than if you were to just buy, you know, a salad from a store. If you were to make a salad from scratch, but also know what you're putting into that salad because you're the one who's cooking it, essentially, then essentially you have more health benefits because that's what you're improving. So you have a talent stat of like cooking, for example. Another talent stat would be imagination, and the imagination essentially improves your ideas of how you can approach combat. And essentially the higher your imagination stat is, the more ideas you can have of approaching your combat, essentially. So that's essentially my idea. Instead of having a social stat system where you increase like your knowledge, guts, charm, and kindness and all that sort of stuff, it's going to be a system where you increase your talents, essentially. And your talents can either help you spend time with people in the real world, or you spend time like getting like better stats or better preparations or whatever for like dungeon crawling and such. Some RPGs did the thing where enemies scale to your level, so you never really feel overpowered, even against trash mobs. Yeah, personally I want to try to avoid that kind of mechanic where enemies try to, you know, increase their attacks to get to your level, or decrease if you're like underleveled. I want to try to avoid that mechanic. Like, I want to try to create a mechanic where enemies do get harder as you go, encouraging you to level up your stats or to learn new abilities and such. But I also want it to be based on player skill. And maybe I'll have a mechanic similar to like Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, where you can do a level 1 run, essentially do a run where you don't improve your stats at all, or don't learn new abilities outside of abilities that you're mandated to learn, and essentially do a level 1 run and essentially have that as an option for challenge runners. In fact, I think that's going to be an option, is that I have an easy difficulty, maybe a story difficulty for, well, people that are bad at video games, but like a story difficulty, an easy difficulty, a normal difficulty, a hard difficulty, and exclusive to hard difficulty, you can have game changers. And I think what I'm going to do is that with game changers, I can have the players like disable certain stuff to make the game harder, essentially. So essentially, like, maybe no friends in dungeons, or maybe you can increase your stats or something like that, unless you're wearing specific equipment that increases said stats. Or maybe like a level 1 talent stats where literally all of your talent points are stuck at level 1 and stay at level 1 for the entire game, but it doesn't hinder you from being able to get the true ending of the game or anything like that. Like, I think that's something that I might add, is like, on top of a hard difficulty, I'll add a game changer modifier that allows players to essentially create their own challenge runs, essentially. And you can either add multiple layers of these, or you can just have one and ignore another. And if I do have like a trophy and achievements thing, I probably would only have an achievement for maybe activating one game changer and beating the game from beginning to end with one of them, but I definitely would not have a achievement for being able to beat with the game with all game changers activated. I think that should be only exclusive to challenge runners that really want to do like a level 1 challenge or a solo level 1 challenge or whatever. Seems like the talent stats gives players more options. Yeah, that's essentially the point, is that the talent stats, as I'm calling it, gives the players more options. And essentially the talent stats is essentially going to be like the social stats of Persona 4, Persona in general. But essentially, instead of like, you know, having more charisma or more charm or more courage to spend time with someone, it's more or less giving you certain abilities to be able to do stuff that will help you with the dungeon crawling, or even maybe make you help make money in the real world. So like, one stat is going to be a dancing stat. Sounds useless in theory, and that's because outside of dungeon crawling, you could probably use dancing as a hobby or whatever, and maybe by dancing you can actually increase your reputation more of people that are intrigued by your ability to dance. And maybe if you use it as a side hobby where you can actually make pocket money off of it, maybe the higher your dance stat is, the more pocket money you can make, essentially. And if you have a cooking stat, you can essentially make your own food with better buffs, and essentially it would actually be more beneficial than the type of foods that you would buy from a store, and cheaper by option. So the higher your cooking stat is, the more potential buffs you can add to your foods that you can use while in the dungeons and such. But also it would be a cheaper option than if you were to just straight up buy foods from a store or whatever. So essentially it works as not only a financial saving option, but also to help you get better stats for going through dungeons and all that. And there's not going to be just mandated dungeons, there's also going to be optional dungeons that you don't have to go through, but are useful if you want to improve your characters more. AKA journalist. Yeah, story difficulty would be game journalist difficulty. In a way, I kind of want to call it that. Like, instead of calling it story, easy, normal, and hard, I kind of want to call it game journalist difficulty, easy difficulty, normal difficulty, and real life difficulty. I kind of want to call it that. In a way, I kind of want to call it that. That would actually be pretty funny if I call it that, where I call hard difficulty real life difficulty, and I call story difficulty game journalist difficulty. In a way, I kind of want to do that because that would be just a funny jab, honestly. Like, no disrespect to game journalists that at least actually do play on like hard difficulties and all that, but honestly it would be kind of a funny jab. Shut up, alarm. I don't know why I have an alarm set to 3:14 of all times. Got late. What is this challenge run about? Seems someone already answered that. If there's a party system, how will it work in the context of the game as an action game? Well, it's gonna be kind of like, how should I say it? Say it's kind of like Persona 5 Strikers, where essentially everyone has their own stats if you're not controlling them. And it's also going to have... certain characters will be assigned certain roles. So, like, one will have a katana, which means he's going to be more of a melee fighter. One will probably have a gun, which means he's definitely going to be more of a ranged attacker. And one is probably going to be more of a healer, which means they're going to be a glass cannon, hit less, but they're going to be your reliable healer. And essentially, it's up to you as the player to allocate what stats should improve so you can have them not only fulfill the roles, but try to stay alive longer. So if you don't want your healer to go down, increase their endurance, and you can have them stay alive longer on the battlefield. Alternatively, you can increase the amount of healing that they heal, because if they because over time you're going to gain more hit points. Over time you'll gain more hit points, but over time, if you don't increase their ability to heal, then you're not gonna, heal to the full amount that you want, or you're gonna only heal a small, minuscule amount. So it's really up to you how much you want to improve. And I think there's going to be a certain cap to the system, where essentially, if you're grinding on enemies for so long, you'll either gain less points for the level ups, or you'll stop gaining any points at all. So once you stop gaining points to essentially level up your stats, that's essentially the game telling you that you're grinding against under-leveled enemies. It's time for you to actually go back and try to grind against higher enemies, and essentially disencourage, grinding against smaller enemies. So if you're trying to grind to the max stats in like the first dungeon of the game, you physically can't. Essentially, once you reach a certain cap, then the game stops giving you points until you grind against enemies that are, well, at a higher level. At a higher level and all that. So you do have the option of over-grinding if you want, but a good chunk of it does rely on player skill, not so much where your stats are. I want to try to rely less on numbers and more on, hey, try to play good, okay? Try to play good. And if you're doing a level 1 run where you don't increase anyone's stats, well, your party members are going to die a lot, but at least you are staying alive, essentially. I want to try to design the game in a way where it relies more on skill than just numbers. I love difficulties with silly names. Yeah. Call story difficulty game journalist difficulty, then an easy difficulty, normal difficulty, and call hard difficulty real life difficulty, which means you'll get shit pay from your job, and you'll also take more damage from enemies and, well, do less damage. And there's also going to be a reputation system in the game. So if it's real life difficulty, then technically you get more cancel culture on your ass if you're playing on real life difficulty. And if you're playing on story difficulty, everybody loves your ass, so therefore you're not going to get canceled. Still in this dungeon, how far did you get in the last boss attempt? Honestly, I barely attempted the boss fight last attempt because I just wanted an excuse to stream this game again because I know it's going to give me the most amount of viewers and all that. And I thought it was also a good excuse to not only, talk about my opinions of Persona 4 Revival, but also talk about my game that I want to make, essentially. Some people might find it offensive, but I think people might get it's not made in malicious purposes, referring to calling easy difficulty game journalist difficulty. I mean, I think I'm going to have an actual easy difficulty where it's still challenging for those who suck, but is still doable for those who don't want to grind, essentially. And game journalist difficulty just straight up exists for people that don't want challenge at all. So you'll get maybe 5% damage or something. You do triple damage or something like that, and it's a game difficulty that is definitely designed for your mother that doesn't play hard video games, essentially. With that said, there is definitely going to be themes that are definitely more adult-oriented, and as I said, you're going to be playing as young adult characters, characters in their early 20s, as opposed to teenage characters. So because of that, I can definitely have more themes that would definitely be too intense for Persona, for example. So you can actually discuss things that are a little bit more sexual in context, but obviously stuff that is not going to be a deep dive or anything, because again, I'm planning for this to be a game that would be rated M, essentially. A rated M game, enough to address, hard themes, but obviously not enough to be A-rated. And no, the game is not about having sex with everyone. That's definitely not going to be a mechanic in the game. I mean, maybe there might be a mechanic of, like, you know, hanging out with your date or whoever your boyfriend or girlfriend is, but, yeah, the whole point of the game is not to bang as many people as you want. The whole point of the game is to make good friends, kick ass, and pretty much follow your own beliefs. That's essentially the idea of the game. And again, I'm being vague on the overall premise and setting. Oh, shit. Thank you for deciding not to get us hit, Teddy. But yeah, essentially I'm going to have like a talent point system that affects, you know, how you progress through a dungeon or whatever, or how you progress in like the real world, whether it be like, you know, making better money or making not as much money, or to be able to cook food where it has better benefits than store-bought food. Okay, yes, okay, we are close to getting to the next level, guys. I think it's worthwhile just grinding on floor 4 and 3 enemies, because once we level these guys up, that's pretty much all we really need to do. So yeah, we're ending the stream soon, guys. So if you guys have any questions on my thoughts of Persona 4 Revival, or Persona 6, or what's going on with Nitsa Gamer, what's going on with plans for Nitsa Gamer, or what are my ideas for my video game, and I'll try to be vague on it, but also not as vague on it. You know, don't hesitate to ask the questions while you're still here. Oh, yes, crit, crit, crit. Take that, sucker. Sorry, I can't do that. Okay. I have enough to defeat this Kane. Frick yes. Haha! Nice. Okay, so mustache fiber. Heck yes. Okay, so I actually got something from this positive Kane for once. Frick yes. Okay. How much of these mustache fibers do I even have? Oh, that's my only one. Is that my first time actually being able to defeat a positive Kane? Huh. Nice. Can't complain because awesome. Maybe it's a bit early, but have you thought about game pricing? Oh yeah, it's way too early to ask that question. Reasonably, I'd probably be aiming around $40 because, again, I'm an independent developer, and I think asking for like an $80 game would be too much. But I think it also depends on how much the game has. Like, if it has content that I think is promising to be, you know, as priced as like a real life AAA game and whatever, then maybe I'll ask for like 80. But I also want to ask for a price that sounds reasonable enough that people will actually buy the game. Problem is that if I were to start it at 40, I would not be able to increase it any higher from there. And I guess it also depends on whether or not if I'm able to have this game appear on multiple platforms. Again, if it gets popular enough, it would be amazing to be able to have this game on a PlayStation or Xbox console. And that's assuming if PlayStation is going to be able to have physical releases, if they're caving into that pressure or not. If you know, you know. But yeah, in terms of prices, I'm probably aiming at $40 at the lowest, but it also depends on how popular the demand for the game gets, I guess. Like, I hope I can actually have it at a really good price that's, you know, no less than 40, but obviously not greater than 80. But we'll see. We'll see in due time. I mean, for now, in terms of release, it's definitely going to be a PC release. But if I'm able to have it on consoles like the PlayStation or Xbox, that would be amazing. Or heck, even Nintendo would be amazing. But I don't know, with some of the ideas that I have, I think some of the themes might be extreme for Nintendo, but we'll see. We'll see when we cross that path. And there we go, level 22. Frick yes. Level 22, and now we just got to get Chie and Yosuke up to level 22. So we're going to be proceeding down to floor 1 because at least I need to get, well, items from floor 1 enemies. So I'm just going to proceed down to floor 1. Only fight the enemies that are on the way on floor 3. But yeah, it's way, way too soon to consider pricing when it comes to the video game I'm making. But I know for sure it's going to have a PC release, probably be released on Steam, maybe, what do you call it? What the heck do you call it? Epic Game Store, Epic Game Store and Steam. Like, if I can release it on those platforms, then at least I have ways of being able to get the game out. In fact, I think if I release it on Epic Game Store, I actually get a little bit more revenue when it comes to, you know, who buys the game compared to Steam. But if I can release it on either platforms, that'd be great. And if I can release it as a PlayStation or Xbox game, that would be great. If I can release it as a Nintendo game, that would even be more great. But we'll see in due time. Yeah, I read something about no more discs for PlayStation, only digital. Yeah, they're trying to make everything go digital only, starting in like January 2028. So technically it's more than a year before we cross that boat. But yeah, there's a high protest against it for understandable reasons, because people want, you know, to own their physical media and not just have a long subscription fee, essentially. Okay, so I only have like 14 EXP left for Chie, so I'm just gonna grind on floor 1 enemies until I eventually get both of my characters leveled up. Oh, jeez. I am killing my throat here, but thank God I'm gonna be ending this stream soon, and still have time before work, so I should be able to shower up before work. Victory! Okay, so level 22, and yep, awesome. We increased our endurance and agility, which is definitely what we want the most on Chie and Yosuke, especially endurance. Endurance is definitely what we need the most, but the fact that endurance and agility go up is great, because if they get hit, they have a chance of possibly dodging if a second attack comes their way, which has happened with Chie, with her getting hit and then having her weakness exploited with fire. I don't know why, though. Too expensive to produce something? It's hard to say. I mean, I guess from a financial perspective, digital is just more financially, you know, better for game developers, simply because you also have to pay for, like, making the box and disc and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, it's more time and resources, and I guess digital is just considered convenient because you can just download your game anytime and just play it anytime without having to insert a disc all the time. I mean, I'll admit I'm guilty of having too many digital games. I'll admit I'm guilty of that. Get a critical, you. Damn it, you. Ah. Run. Thank you for deciding not to have us get hit, Eddie. Okay, even though I don't have Chie up the next level yet, I'm just going to save just so I don't have to do that grind all over again. I'm just going to save now, go back in, grind on floor 1 enemies until I eventually get Chie to level 22, and that'll be the end of the stream. You and Izanagi only. Yep. And again, the only reason I have Chie and Yosuke in the party is because the game won't allow me to remove them until we do Shadow Kanji's dungeon. Once we do Shadow Kanji's dungeon, we'll be able to solo, like, do a true solo run from here on out. Okay, so here we go. 22 for the boys. They require way too much EXP to level up. Only 88 EXP left for GA, so we're just gonna grind on floor 1 enemies since we don't have 99 of their items. And then once Chia gets to 22, then I'm gonna hopefully, well, I mean hopefully in quotation marks, gonna be doing another attempt up against Shadow Yukiko, but I'm gonna record that on my own, just because recording will give me higher quality than stream footage. But yeah, I seriously look forward to the day where I can eventually release a trailer or a reveal on the game I'm making. Because right now I have nothing to show right now. At least nothing that's either A, crap to see, or, you know, spoiler-wise. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Great work.
This stream's killing my throat. So yeah, I think Friday or tomorrow I'm either going to do another stream or I'm going to focus on creating maps for the game making. So like for the beginning of the game, I definitely got to create a default title screen. Like I'm definitely going to have a more detailed title screen, but right now I just don't have the resources without certain collaborators to make the title screen that I envision. But just make a basic title screen and then have like the first couple rooms for the game, which includes what was it, mall, and it was like a mall, a sandy desert, the elevator, sandy desert again, and the tutorial dungeon of the game, essentially. That's all I'll say on it. So here we go. So Chie increases our endurance and agility, which is great because that's exactly what we need. Luck doesn't really matter, but whatever. Hopefully that makes her more lucky. And see, she has our counter skill next. Which means if we're going to have a successful attempt against Shadow Yukiko, we actually don't want her to be at level 24. We don't want her to be at level 24 because if her counter skill kicks in, then that's going to essentially be, well, a reset. Because that means that's not a true solo run if we're having Chie counter damage. So which means if we do have to grind our characters again, level 23 has to be the final possible level for Chie. I mean, thankfully I have it in me to be able to have, you know, you and Yosuke be at level 24 while Chie stays at level 23, but hopefully I won't have to do that. Hopefully this is all the grinding that I need to do. So yeah. Just be careful of somebody stealing your game idea and making it themselves. Yeah, that's why I'm being vague on my ideas. We making it out of Yuki Castles with this one. Yep, we are. I'm just grinding on the last remaining enemies just so I can have some stuff to talk about, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on lately. So in terms of games that I've been playing myself, I've been playing Death Stranding 2. Greatly enjoying Death Stranding 2. I absolutely loved the first game. I released a video on the first game, but it barely got any views. If you guys are able to watch my Death Stranding video on the 10 PCC structures in the game, that'd be absolutely great. And if you guys are able to watch my trailer reactions to Persona 4 Revival and Persona 6, that would also be great, because that barely got any views, surprisingly, considering that most of you are subscribed to Persona-related content. My challenge run on 007 First Light without guns or gadgets did mostly well, but still under the amount of views that I was hoping for. So if you guys are able to check my 007 First Light challenge run, that would also be great. And yeah, still working on the next possible challenge run. It's probably still going to be a while before I release another challenge run, but any supports on my channel, like becoming a channel member, would be greatly appreciated. I'll definitely make some more streams in the future on hopefully less hot summer days. And yeah, I'm also going to be busy making my first independent video game. It's going to probably take years before it eventually gets released, and who knows, I might actually release it before Grand Theft Auto 6. No, it's definitely not going to be released before Grand Theft Auto 6, but it'll definitely be released before Yandere finishes his Yandere Simulator game. That's for sure. But yeah, I hope you guys look forward to my original video game idea. It's definitely going to have similar game mechanics to like Persona with the social simulation and dungeon crawling and all that. So I hope you guys look forward to that. But it's going to be, you know, action, hack and slash, and constant moves on the fly as opposed to turn-based combat. And the social sim aspect is definitely going to be heavily different compared to the social simulation aspect of the social links. So as opposed to the social links being like, you know, one linear path with like maybe a romance route, in my game there's going to be romance routes, yes, but there's also going to be like multiple endings with each friendship. Sometimes it's limited to just two based on here's my advice of how you should approach the situation, and you can give them two different advices or whatever. Or you can have like multiple endings based on whether if you betray them, side with them, or side with a different kind of character that connects to the overarching story. But it's definitely going to have like that Fallout thing of like choosing what you believe is morally right, essentially. But yeah, I'm purposely being vague on it. I mean, it might sound like I revealed a lot, but trust me, I have not revealed the core idea of what the entire game is about. Like, I'll admit there's probably some ideas that I think I probably revealed too soon, but I'll definitely say I definitely have ideas that, or the core aspect of the game and what it's all about and what its main theme is, I'm purposely not revealing because that's stuff that I want to be discovered over time or eventually seen in trailers when I eventually release trailers of the game. But yeah, I'm hoping the combat system that I envision is definitely a system that will definitely be really unique in its own way.
There's only one enemy. We won!
Alright, so let's make it out of Yukiko's castle. We're done with the grind. We got everybody to level 22 and got Izanagi up to level 16 while min-maxing the stats into his strength, agility, and endurance, which is... Or actually, no, we didn't do endurance. It was magic. Whatever. It's better than nothing. Okay. So there we go, guys. What is our total save time now? Of course, it doesn't show us because the save screen is in the way. 24 hours and 39... Yeah, we should be, like, already completed Shadow Kanji's dungeon at this point of the game. And, yeah, here we are, still on Shadow Yukiko's castle. Level 22. Level 22 with a level 16 Izanagi. So let's check Izanagi's stats. So Izanagi... Okay, we actually gained a lot of EXP for him, surprisingly. So... yeah, if we do have to level up Izanagi, I guess that's something we can consider. Again, the big detriment is getting Chie to level 24, because if she gets to level 24, she can learn her counter skill, and if her counter goes off during the boss fight, that's an immediate reset, because we don't want that to happen. And then, as for our main party members, so, thankfully, on top of getting to level 22, they did increase their endurance and agility, which is the most important stats for them as meat shields. And then for Chie, so if we have to level up our characters at all, if we have to level up our characters in order to make the Shadow Yukiko fight possible, we definitely want to make sure that Chie does not get to level 24. So if we have to do another grind, then the grind would essentially be getting the party members to, or getting the boys to level 24, and having Chie stuck at level 23 and just barely able to learn counter, and hopefully be able to level up Izanagi to gain at least an extra stats, but hopefully we don't have to do that. Hopefully what I have here is more than enough to defeat Shadow Yukiko, and this is something that I'm going to actually do in a separate stream. I'm going to do this in a, or not a separate stream, I'm going to record this in my own time. I'm going to record this in my own time, and if I do defeat Shadow Yukiko, I don't know, I'll probably let you guys know via community post or something like that, but yeah. Speaking of hack and slash, I hear they are planning a remake of the first 3 God of War games. That'd be interesting. Okay, so I know I'm heading back to the castle, but that's because I'm going to create a separate save. So go to floor 8, which is the floor where Shadow Yukiko is. And now I'm just going to use some peach seeds to fully heal. Okay, so there we go, fully healed. Wait a minute. Did I use up all my peach seeds? Darn it. Hold on. Let me just reset that. I want to keep at least one peach seed on me because I think there might be a quest that revolves around me having a peach seed on me. If there is, then I want to make sure I have that peach seed on me just in case. So just use my medicines because the medicines heal such a small amount that they're not useful at all for the Shadow Yukiko fight. So I'll just use enough peach seeds that I can at least fully heal and then use the medicines. Just want to make sure I have at least one peach seed on me just in case because I think that's a quest within the real world, I think. I don't know when that quest is going to be, but I want to make sure that I have at least one peach seed on me. Okay, and then use a medicine on Chie. Okay, there we go. They're fully healed. I have at least one peach seed just in case I need to complete a quest that revolves around having a peach seed. We're going to save. And make sure we save on file 5. So if we have to grind more, then I just go back to file 4. And there we go, guys. So I'm going to do attempts against Shadow Yukiko on my own time, and hopefully the level that we're at is more than enough. So level 22 with all the characters, level 16 with Izanagi, while during like the last 3 levels trying to min-max his stats towards strength, endurance, and agility. But yeah, hopefully this is all I need to beat Shadow Yukiko, and I won't have to do another stream of this. But if I do have to do another stream of this, then I might, grind the boys to level 24 and Chie to just the threshold of level 24, enough that she doesn't learn her counter skill, and also get Izanagi up at least an extra level. And hopefully that's all I need in order to defeat Shadow Yukiko. But hopefully I can defeat Shadow Yukiko of where I'm at. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this. So if you like the stream, be sure to give it a like, comment, subscribe, ding the bell for more Nitsa Gamer content. Become a channel member if you want your name at the end of a future Nitsa Gamer video. And yeah, be sure to support my channel by watching my videos. Don't just watch Persona content. I have other content on this channel. I have over 1,000 goddamn videos on this channel that you guys can watch. And the recent ones that I've uploaded is Death Stranding, the top 10 PCC structures of the game. Definitely check that video out. Check out my challenge run of 007 First Light without using guns or gadgets. Or check out my trailer reactions to Persona 4 Revival and Persona 6. And yeah, I hope you guys hope you guys enjoy this stream. I hope you guys anticipate this game that I am making. It's definitely going to be a collaborative effort. I'm trying not to one-man the project and all that. Like, I'm going to be the strong overseer of the overall project and make sure it matches my vision. But I will definitely have, like, critical output of people that are helping me, as well as artists and musicians and voice actors that will definitely help make the game feel like a big passion project that I intend it to be. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next Nitsa Gamer video or stream or whatever the frick I do. So, you all have a good day, good night, and I'll see you guys in the next Nitsa Gamer whatever. Au revoir.